This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we've got a listener-sponsored review of Bad Boys 2 from 2003, plus new trailers for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show on Disney Plus and Season 3 of The Boys. Marvel's Netflix shows have a new home, Deadpool 3 gets a director, and Warner Brothers shuffles around all their DC movies for this year and next. All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, March 14th, 2022.
You know who this is, and you know why you're here. You want all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news, and by God, you found it. Forget everything else out there. Forget all the Scientology bullshit. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Worship at the feet of the holy trio of geekdom, the Jock and Nerd podcast. Play it.
Check. Check one. All right, this is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talk it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We talk it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hello, listener, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us, not only is he a bad boy for life, he's a rug boy for life. It's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
What's up, Imran? You're acting like a big failure.
That's the story of my life. What was that word?
You failure.
That's a strange delivery. Is Michael Bay writing all your dialogue this episode?
Remember when you used to watch movies that were on like regular TV, edited for TV, and they would take the curse word and they would,
your mother lover.
that would be the word that they would use for a certain pejorative.
Or Mickey Ficky. That was popular.
Yeah, Mickey
in
Ficky.
Do the Right Thing.
You Mickey Ficky.
Spike Lee's like, it's hot as a Mickey Ficky, but I'm okay. I'm like, what? Mr. Fal, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcor. Wait, who's Mr. Falcor? That's not even a character in a movie.
Yeah. Forget you.
Forget You is a great one. Forget You.
Yeah, we're Forget You.
Anyways, Anthony, I think by the end of the show, we're all going to realize we podcast together, we die together, just like the Bad Boys. I can't wait.
Should we start the show over again?
No, we shouldn't. I don't have time for that, and I'm not editing any of this out. All right, let's get to the news, you bastards.
Let's just stick with it.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
We haven't done any geek news in a while. I've missed it. There's a bunch of things going on. We'll catch up real quick, starting with a couple of brand new trailers for TV shows. The first one, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show for Disney Plus, coming out May 25th. Ewan McGregor returning as Obi-Wan. We've got our first teaser trailer, our first look at this thing. And I know Anthony's a big Star Wars guy, right? Anthony? Big Star Wars guy.
Of course.
Huge. Let's just
I love fantasy
right?
genre.
All this made-up shit in a galaxy far away. You dig it.
I do.
Well, let's just get your views out of the way, because I love to hear what non-Star Wars people think of Star Wars things randomly. Did you check out this trailer? How's it hitting you?
I did check it out. I mean, it's a well-cut trailer. There's nice music. Makes you feel like this is kind of an epic story. As I did watch Adam's review
Adam does movies.
of this trailer.
Yeah.
And he brought up a good point. He's like, oh, cool, back to Tatooine.
I know. I didn't like that
I love
part.
Tatooine. So did have to throw that out there, stealing that from Adam. But other than that, I thought it was a nice trailer. Well done. Seems like something about hunting Jedis.
Yeah.
And then there's that cool like city shot. So it looks kind of like they're in like some Asian city in space with all that neon light.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't really know what's going on. So
all right, well,
they did a good job at least making a trailer look epic, at least in my opinion.
I mean, the Tatooine comment is appropriate, because when I saw that, I was like, a fucking Tatooine sand planet again. But it looks like we'll be seeing other fun cyberpunk Blade Runner looking planets.
Yeah, and it ends in a way with the music where it seems like that Star Wars music, but you have that opera, and I will give them credit on the The only other thing I liked was the lightsaber cutting the Disney Plus.
Oh,
logo.
yeah. Oh, that is
Nice.
kind of cool.
Nice little touch.
The music, we got John Williams returning to score this. The fucking guy who wrote all the music.
Really?
Yes. So you
They're
hear
wheeling him out. He's
yeah,
like,
they're wheeling him out. They're setting him in
Yeah.
front of the orchestra. Just wave your arms around, John. It'll be fine. Everyone will follow.
he's like, I just want to watch Jeopardy.
But right, he misses Alex Trebek. Rest in peace.
Yeah, of course.
Ruggs, what'd you think of the trailer? I mean, you hear Duel of the Fates. You hear other
That's
iconic
epic. Yes.
Star Wars
You
music.
got Inquisitors, Imran.
You got Grand Inquisitors, the Jedi Hunters, their live action debut.
You got very meaty faced Inquisitors.
Yeah, let's
They're not
talk
as,
about the look of the
Aquiline as they are in
Sure.
the show.
Their look is getting trashed online a little bit because his face is a little wider than it is longer, which is the opposite of what.
Yeah, you should have cast a guy who has like a longer face to kind of make it, seem more. I guess the best actor won out, and they said, "Fuck the way it looks."
We'll squish his head in post.
He better be a good actor. That's all I'm saying.
Well, so you watched Rebels. Are you excited? I'm kind of excited to see these Jedi hunting Inquisitors in live action.
yeah, they were pretty tough to deal with in the show, and then you have this like new kind of Sith warrior. She must be an Inquisitor. She's running around looking for Obi-Wan, and she looks like she's pretty formidable. So I don't know which character that is. I don't recognize it. Do you? I don't.
No, I don't.
Probably
There-
a new character for the show.
There was some female Inquisitors in that game, Jedi Fallen Order. I don't know if it's the same character,
Right.
but she looks badass. She's got a lightsaber.
Yeah. So it could be cool. I'm into this. I heard that Darth Vader's going to be in it.
Well,
So
you hear him breathing at the end, and I was hoping they would show us a little Vader, but he is going to be in the suit. Entertainment Weekly has a shot of him in the Darth Vader suit. So my question is, first of all, Hayden Christensen is not the guy in the suit, and it's not the voice in the suit. Are we going to see him in flashback? Are we going to see him without his helmet on? Isn't there
I
a
don't
height
know.
difference also? Like, isn't Vader like taller than it's
no, I think Hayden Christensen is plenty tall.
He's pretty tall. But he puts the helmet on and automatically sounds like James Earl Jones. Is that what's going to happen? That would be strange.
Yeah, they did that in the movie, didn't they? He put on. No, wasn't that it? James Earl Jones.
Yeah, but then you take his helmet off and he's this pale, wrinkly white dude, and you're
Yeah,
like, wait a minute.
listen, if I put the helmet on, I'm going to sound like T-Pain. If I'm Darth T-Pain.
Oh, they should just auto-tune Hayden Christensen's voice
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
whole
what do they
thing.
need Hayden Christensen for if this is the year or
For
this is
member
made-
berries.
Yeah, they might. I
Berries.
think they may do flashbacks with him.
That's the only way, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you can't take off that man's.
It's keeping him alive.
Yeah, if you take off his helmet, it looks stupid now.
Yeah, it's just going to be Hayden Christensen going, Obi-Wan is turning against me.
There's a breaking story today. Apparently, Ray Park was supposed to return as Darth Maul in this show, but then they changed things and cut him and replaced
I'll
him
tell you
with Vader.
exactly why they did that.
Why?
Because of fucking Boba Fett.
Oh.
What do you mean?
Because Ray Park's like 60 years old now too.
Well, he is getting up there, isn't
is he old?
Yeah.
I guess it has been almost 30 years.
So is Ewan McGregor, I think, but I think he's in good shape. So
Well, yeah, and Ewan McGregor still can move around and he looks in that between age of how old he's supposed to be in New Hope.
Yeah, he's really old as Alec Guinness in New Hope. Also,
Right.
I think it's funny how he's just like watching Luke from far away, all creepy, like a creepy old man. Nobody catches him on that. Nobody calls him. What are you doing, old man?
but if you use binoculars,
I guess.
it makes you immediately creepy.
Yes.
Right?
Use-
You can't
yes.
be using. They shouldn't even sell binoculars anymore because you're immediately creepy as soon as you use them to look far away. But if you're standing on the corner and you look up, you're all right.
Yeah,
You're like,
no,
no, not creepy.
If you have binoculars now,
Yeah.
for any reason,
Yeah.
you're immediately creepy.
You should have to have a background check to get binoculars.
You seem like
Definitely.
you have binoculars and run.
I mean, I didn't buy them now. I just
I
have
got
'em
binoculars as quick as I could get them from Boy Scouts.
from before. My dad had a pair of binoculars from back in the day when you used
If you're
them.
living in the city and you have a pair of binoculars, there's something wrong.
Maybe that's your hobby. You look at
What
you
about
live in
so
Skyrim.
bird watchers are all perverts? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Right? Basically.
Yeah, that's not what that's the
They're
excuse.
not looking at birds.
No, they're not looking at birds. That's
Yeah.
the excuse.
They're all bird watchers.
They're like, bird over here, and let's look over here now. Whoop, whoop, whoops.
Why do you live next to like all these high rises and you have binoculars?
I'm watching birds. The birds live in the
What
high
about a
rises.
telescope? Is a telescope bad?
No, a telescope. Well, that could
It depends
be.
where you have it placed.
Yeah, where it's pointing. If it's not pointing
Yeah.
straight up, then that's creepy.
You can't have it. That's another thing. You can't own a telescope in the city because it's just pointless. First off, the light,
Yeah.
the city light blocks out everything.
Yeah.
So you immediately know something's wrong.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Binoculars, telescope is worse.
Telescope is like that's like a committed pervert.
Things you can't own in this, like those are top 2 of the 5 right there. The
but
things you
let me
can't own
play
in
devil's
the city limits.
advocate. Everybody in the world has a telescope now with a phone. So there you go.
The
If you
zoom.
have
And it
to,
can
like,
record.
flip it on its head and
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, sure. That makes it even weirder that you own a telescope.
Yeah, but you could be thinking, what looks worse if I'm just sitting around looking at my phone and not knowing that I'm zoomed in
Right,
like
you can't
200
tell.
feet
Yeah.
and recording
Yeah.
something, or if I have binoculars, you can at least know that I'm a pervert. Like, you don't really, it's
Well,
like,
I would
hey.
rather not know.
Oh, you want to believe that.
I want to believe that you're scrolling on your phone looking at Instagram. I don't want to see you with your damn. I know what you're doing with that fucking telescope. You're probably not looking at me, but you're
But
looking
at
at
least you
someone.
can't record it.
Right, that's true.
Only in your mind.
The last time
Yeah.
binoculars are appropriate is like that Alfred Hitchcock movie Rear Window from the 60s. Like that's the last time. Like that works in that movie. Anytime after that.
So Ben
questionable.
Kenobi, let's get it back to the Star
Yeah,
Wars.
Ben Kenobi is
I
peeping
thought,
hard.
I thought we were gonna round out the top 5 for things you can't own while living in the city.
I mean, what is it? What are the top 5 things that you can't own anymore?
We found 2
There's
right
2 in
now.
the top
Telescopes, binoculars.
I don't know what the other side.
What's the other 2? Now I'm like, we can think about this all day. This is the whole of the show.
A big wheel. If you don't have any children, that's suspicious. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what?
Big wheels. Remember big wheels? They don't even have those
Big
anymore.
wheels. See, I don't know what that
Like
is.
my God.
handcuffs? Is
No.
that bad?
Yeah.
No, hey, that's okay.
It's questionable.
I mean, that's not questionable. There's some freaky people. That's fine. Though.
Ball
What-
gag. Is that okay? No.
That's fine. I'm talking about like it has to do with living in the city.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's got to be specific to like you have this.
Like
Well, you're in the
assless
city.
chaps are still okay. I think, right?
Always.
That's fine.
They never go out of style.
No.
So Ben Kenobi is peeping
Back to
out
Star
the
Wars.
He's looking in the windows to see Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru fuck, I guess. I don't know what else the binoculars are for. But Anthony, we will check this out. It is only 6-episode limited series starting
When does this come out?
May 25th.
So we're gonna review it weekly.
I guess because Moon Knight,
Yeah, we might as
Moon
well.
Knight is also only 6 episodes, and that comes out at the end of this month, March. So
I do have a take. 6 episodes
Yeah.
is very short.
yes, I'm concerned about the 6
Super
episodes.
groundbreaking take right there. 6 episodes is very short.
Was
That should be a
was
blog
it Boba
post.
Fett 6 episodes?
No, it was 7, and that was
It was actually 5
Yes.
because they took 2 and went to
if you count
Mandalorian.
the ones where he was actually in. But 6 episodes for Moon Knight, I'm like, oh, that's kind of short. Can you get stuff done?
6 for Obi is
Yeah.
Like although at least they've done the work when you have 4 movies with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, and this one takes place in between the prequels and the original trilogy, 10 years after Episode 3. So
So what's going on? Jedis are being hunted.
yes,
That's the thing.
Order 66 has happened. There's
Still happening.
yeah, it already happened, and they got to go and kill all the Jedi's.
and that lady is a Jedi hunter.
she's a
Is that what
Jedi
you're saying?
hunter, and there were
She's a bad lady.
she's
Yeah.
she's a
She's
Sith.
probably a Sith Inquisitor,
Yeah.
or she's probably training to be an Inquisitor.
The way they filmed it though, or showed it in the trailer.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like she's got a hero's journey in there.
There may be a twist. Maybe
She might turn.
Yes, maybe she realizes.
It didn't like necessarily seem like she was bad. It was just like the font was making it seem like
Yes,
everything.
she's working for the Inquisitor, so maybe she does turn. But Ruggs, isn't this the period where like Jedi's are hiding for a long time?
Yeah, most of the head Jedis are either dead or hiding or pretending not to be Jedi.
Pretending not to be Jedi's, right? You can't be a Jedi.
because
Well,
they're being hunted.
They need to bounce back. What the hell
After
we talking
Boba
about?
Fett, yes.
Boba Fett was not
Yeah.
good, and now this is how Star Wars has been since Kathleen Kennedy has been in charge.
Pretty much.
It's like they make something good and
Yeah.
people are hyped, and they make something bad. We're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's like
And they make
yeah.
something good, and
Yeah.
we're like, okay, it might be turned around. They made something really bad.
So it's been hit or miss. So the last thing is bad. This is gonna be good. That's how it goes, back and forth.
Yeah, potentially.
Hopefully. But they got a lot of lore and mystery and history to deal with. Ewan McGregor is going to be cool to see him. So I'm excited.
What about Hayden Christensen? He's gonna be cool to see.
Maybe if he just stays in the Vader
He is-
mask.
He's tough because like I don't think that he's necessarily a terrible actor. It's just his voice that makes it sound even worse than it is.
Maybe he's started smoking cigarettes since the last time we saw him, so that'll help. Also, every episode directed by Deborah Chow. I think it has one director, which might help this also.
Deborah Chow, what has she done?
She has done a couple episodes of The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with some of the good ones. She's good. She gets it.
If you want to see a really good Hayden Christensen performance, watch Revenge of the Sith, but with Spanish language.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because if you hear just another guy doing the voice, the acting's 10 times
You're
better.
like, oh, this is really hitting now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see.
Escúchame.
We'll see if they can bring back the Star Wars glamour and glitz with this next series. Listener, let us know what you thought of this trailer. Join our Facebook group. Join the conversation. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. There's a closed exclusive group. You can find a link in the show description or on our website. Join us. We geek out in there, and I put spoiler threads and things as we review them, so get your comments and observations in there. Lots of fun. Okay, the other trailer that is a whole different vibe than Disney and Star Wars is The Boys official season 3 Red Band trailer. This one coming back June 3rd on Amazon. And this one's got a lot of crazy shit in there. The Red Band trailer is very violent and bloody and gooey.
Yes.
Ruggs, let's start with you this time. What'd you think of this? Are you getting a geek boner?
Geek boner.
Floppy
For
Jock.
Boy season 3.
It's got Soldier Boy in it.
It's got Soldier Boy, not the song, but the actual.
I was going to do the cue. Tell him.
Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy.
I'm just thinking about like the steel drum for just that song. Ding, ding, ding. Anyway, Soldier Boy's in it. It's got fucking the main character, Billy Butcher. He now has fucking shit shooting out of his eyes.
Yeah, what the shit is this? How did this happen?
I don't know. Maybe he took
some
some of
V.
that.
Oh,
took some
Compound
V.
V.
Yeah,
Yes.
took some of that shit. We see the Flash guy, but he's in a different costume now.
What was his name? A-Train.
know.
A-Train.
A-Train, yeah.
He's selling like energy drinks, it looks like.
Yeah, he's in like some weird loud ass costume now.
Dude, how about the deep fucking while he's staring at the inside of the octopus?
That's kind of fucking weird.
That's kind of disturbing.
That's totally predictable. Yes.
Yes, that's great.
What else we got there?
You got some dance numbers, it looks
Yeah,
like.
it seems like they were trying to do like a Peacemaker dance number or something, but not as cool.
You've got Homelander milking a cow.
Oh, yeah, and like...
Oh, and he's like fucking
orgasmic.
orgasmic.
Yeah, he's like, you got Black Noir doing a lot of things. I feel like we missed Black Noir.
He was kind of gone.
Yeah, last season. I'm looking forward. So the last season, well, we won't spoil how the season ended if anyone hasn't seen it, but there's a lot of things set up to pick up here.
I have to watch it. Like it's been so long.
Well, they'll give you a recap before the season starts.
want
I
to do a
definitely
recap.
need the recap.
Just watch
because
the
I
recap.
already kind of forgot what happened last season.
Like,
not because it wasn't good. It was just been a while.
Now, is this episodic like release or is it binge release?
This is probably going to be a weekly release on Amazon. That's what they did.
So I'm like surprised I don't remember it. Usually I remember the more like if I watch it once a week instead of binging it, I remember it better. But I don't know.
Well, you're old.
Yeah, you fuck.
You got to take your pills. Take your pills.
Take your medication.
Oh, God damn it. I didn't take my pills today.
Apparently, the showrunner Eric Kripke has said they're going to do this comic storyline from the books called Herogasm that's very depraved and insane. And he said it's going to be every bit as depraved as it is in the comics. Can't wait
Oh, my
for that. The show continues to just push fucking boundaries and violence, and it looks great. I can't wait for this.
Well, you know, in one season, we got a lot of male genitalia. What's the genitalia count for this season?
Double it.
Triple it. It's going to be 3 times as many dicks.
I don't really know anything about the boys, so all I see is this Captain America look like.
Soldier Boy.
So, yeah, Soldier Boy. But, you know, the trailer has a jolly, fun music cue with it. It has Billy being a superpowered person finally can like match up maybe with Homelander.
Oh yeah,
kick his ass,
It
dude.
should be it seems like more of the same, and I've liked both seasons so far, and I've liked the kind of the commentary on things that they have running through it. So you know that they'll have a message that they want to get across as well. They've tied in politics at the time to each of these shows. I think it'll be. I mean, it looks like more of the same. Hopefully, they can keep up the momentum. I don't know anything about the canon of the lore to actually be excited about what I'm seeing on screen. And it's not like Marvel where I've always kind of known, or I can look it up right away. Like this one, I'm more like, I'll just sit back and let it play out in front of me on screen. I don't need to know up front who these characters are.
And like you said, both seasons have been so good. Like, I love this show, so I'm in for anything they're going to do. And that's I don't think they've overstayed their welcome yet. So
I think they definitely got at least one more season after this.
Or they'll milk like 3 or 4 more. I know there's lots of comic story that they could do still.
I kind of class this with whatchamacallit, Umbrella Academy and Invincible.
Yeah.
And although this one's coming out next, the one I'm most hyped for out of those 3 is still Invincible.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Invincible is the best.
That was a great first season. I think they're working on that. Well, and that takes longer because it's animation, I guess.
Does it take longer?
I don't know. I haven't heard when that next season of Invincible is coming out, or they've just started working on it. Potential release. There's been no news.
We'll definitely have to recap. Well, I'll need a recap for sure of what happened last season. I have bits and pieces of what happened, but not
quick spoilers. Remember Butcher's wife? I think she was killed, right? And the kid's still around. And then remember Queen Maeve?
The kid saves the wife.
Yes. Yes. The kid lasers. The kid lasered somebody.
Right?
I think so.
I know that there's that Nazi woman that gets her ass kicked by the 3 women.
She dies, and then remember Maeve blackmails Homelander into like letting her do whatever she wants to do and leave.
Right, and then there's a senator that's a soup.
Yeah,
and I think that's
a woman
that's been making people their heads explode.
Oh, right, yes.
And
forgot about her.
Dewey, or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah,
is it not
Huey?
Not Dewey.
Huey.
He's Dewey. Yeah. Huey is working for that lady now.
Oh, that's right. The boys kind of fall apart and split up. Everybody, Frenchie, they all ends up with the girl he met.
Yeah, he's with the superhero Japanese woman.
Yeah.
Or I think she's not Japanese. She's like Thai or Vietnamese.
Yeah, you see her in this trailer though. She's still around. Okay.
Yeah. And then the last thing I had was the Aqua guy.
Oh yeah, the Deep
and A-Train both get rehabilitated by the religious cult.
Oh,
but then that guy gets his head exploded.
Oh, I forgot about that too. That's right. They get into the
now it's all coming back.
Yeah. So
just needed to say it out loud.
Need to kickstart it. Okay, now I remember a lot of it. But they do a good job with giving you recaps before you need to know. But Billy Butcher with powers to me was like I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. This is gonna be great.
He hates soup.
He hates soup. So like, what does it mean for him?
No soup for you.
To have powers. No soup for you. What does it mean for him to have powers? It's going to be interesting.
Do you think he's just got the Ray powers, or do you think he's got the full on like superpowers, like Superman powers?
He just has laser baby eyes. That's okay. I don't know.
I hope he has all the powers.
Yeah.
Because Homelander's got them all.
Well, this Compound V is very unpredictable as to what powers it gives you. You can't really choose the powers. When we get to what are we watching, I did watch that animated series Diabolical, the 8 episodes.
Shit.
Pretty good. I will talk about that later. It was pretty good. But they dive into like the world of Compound V and the world of the boys pretty well, expanding. I wonder how much of that will cross over into the show, but I did like it. Okay, let's move on. Here's some old news, but it's also new news. No doubt by now you have realized that all of the Marvel Netflix shows, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, The Defenders, no longer on Netflix.
Oh, shit.
Can't watch them on Netflix. But, what? Yes, but, wait, where's that?
What? Lame.
But here's where you can watch them. This is a surprising turn of events. I thought the move Disney would make was to put them on Hulu, being darker and more adult shows that they are. No.
Right.
What turns out the day this show releases, March 16th, these shows will be on Disney Plus.
Oh,
there's
shit.
your what?
What?
On Disney Plus. How? How is this possible? Well, Disney Plus has said they have implemented an update to its parental controls in the U.S. that's going to prompt parents to change the settings. So this is an interesting play for them to put more adult, darker material on this family-friendly Disney Plus streaming service using parental controls. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. also is going to be on Disney Plus. First of all, what do you guys think about that? The possibility that they're using parental controls to put darker stuff on. And then the second part of that question is, will this hurt their family-friendly brand that people are paying for, even though there's parental controls? Anthony.
What does that mean, parental controls?
So they'll make it so that if your child has a profile, maybe, that they won't be able to even get to these shows. You can block them out.
Yeah, that seems. I mean, isn't that what Netflix? You can do that on Netflix.
Well, parental controls is on everything, really.
Right.
And
Yeah,
they
so
have
I
them
don't think-
already. They're going to update them or something, I guess.
Yeah, it's tough for me to answer this because I don't have a small child
Sure.
that watches
Right.
Disney Plus.
Right.
So for me, it doesn't really matter. For me, I think it enhances Disney Plus. It makes it a much, I wouldn't say more well-rounded because this is the only, kind of one of the only things they have, but it makes it a little bit less just straight up. I'm watching
Kid stuff.
a PG-13
Yeah.
streaming service.
Like Netflix has like a kids version on it. Like when you boot up your Netflix, right? It says like,
Oh, yeah,
you can
go to
choose, and there's
kids.
always like a kid option,
Yeah, and it's
isn't
all
there?
just cartoons and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if they do it like that, where as soon as you log in, and then there, you have like Disney Kids and then Disney Plus, you go into that, and boom, you don't have to worry about it. You're in an environment, nothing that can be searched, is going to end up being bad. But even that doesn't even work because I find that some of the stuff that's on Netflix Kids is like stuff that's on regular Netflix anyway. You're not going to find the Punisher on there, but like just stuff that maybe shouldn't be there. But they have to curate it. Basically, that's the way I see it.
I mean, the Punisher's going to be on there too. Like, there's some violent scenes in these, and you got to imagine if you got a kid watching and he's just scrolling around and goes from like.
It's just one of those things that's brand specific. Like Disney is like never been an adult brand.
Right.
It's always been geared towards kids. So I feel like this is like a bold move for them.
This
and
is a
it's going,
ballsy move.
Disney's also, they're going into territories that are a little bit more edgy. You could see that the movie that they just released, Turning Red.
Right.
That's a little edgier.
Yeah.
So like they're kind of embracing this like more adult or young adult viewpoint. And that's cool. I think it's good. I don't know if it's going to affect the brand later on. I have no idea.
Well, they're already getting shit from certain parent groups that these shows are going to be on there, even though they're implementing some controls. So they're definitely going to get some flack. But I'm excited because it is a pathway for more mature stuff on the Disney Plus now, if this works. And the fact that you can like watch all these shows in one place, because it's like that's kind of where they belong, in that Marvel hub on Disney Plus.
Right. Yeah, I think they just don't want you to have to leave Disney Plus to seek out Marvel content.
But I mean, if they put it on Hulu, they could put a button that's just like, watch this on Hulu. They own Hulu, and then it fucking switches over to Hulu. Maybe, I don't know.
If you have Hulu,
if you have, Hulu.
But if you put a button there, what's to stop a kid from clicking that button and going to Hulu?
It's just such a weird thing now. Like it's hard to have this conversation because like when we were kids, like there was stuff that was inappropriate, but it wasn't like on demand. Right. Like if you wanted to watch a movie with boobs in it or something, you had to wait until like Skinamax, like at night came on,
Yeah,
like,
or like
it'd be
super
11 o'clock.
violent shit you could just always watch. They just turn on an R-rated movie,
right?
When it was on cable.
Well, yeah, not all you. That's wrong way. Of
You had to
you
pay
couldn't
for the
always watch
service,
it.
and you had like I think that even HBO for a while they had like PG-13 and movies up until a certain time at night. Then they went into the R-rated stuff in prime time.
Right.
So if your kids were home, they probably weren't going to watch like, titty movies like on HBO, like where there's going to be boobs and excessive violence. Now, but everything's on demand, like everything. So like you could just click it and kids can watch it, and they just get used to like watching whatever they want. And there's no like, you have no idea. Like if your kids are asleep, or when you were a kid, you were asleep at a certain time, or you're supposed to be, and that's when all the fucking crazy shit would be on. So it's not like, it's a weird new thing where you have on demand and you're trying to imagine handing a remote to a kid and going, okay, watch whatever you want.
Yeah, that's not a good move.
Don't be fucked up in about 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the opposite, though. As a kid that watched TV when you had to go scroll through the TV Guide channel, at least now you can kind of block things on demand. The only way my parents could block me is if they were in the room.
Well, when you were a kid.
When I was a kid, like either I would just turn on a channel, like if it was late at night and I happened to be up, I just turn on that channel.
Yeah.
And watch it. And like, especially if my parents were asleep. Oh my God.
That was the time. Absolutely. Yeah. That was the one move when I was a kid. You watched.
I would just go to a friend's house.
I was going to ask you.
Think about it. You didn't have unbridled access. You had just that little pocket of time.
Sure. But what I'm saying is like, at least now you can you definitely have more access, but at least parents can kind of control it a little more. Back then, we were fucking monsters. We would find a way to watch it.
Yeah. No, I wanted to know when you were little, what was the play to get R-rated content? Was you could go to a friend's house, you get somebody to rent it for you,
or you just like your dad just doesn't care.
Yeah, he's just like, it's fine. There's some boobs and explosions.
Just don't tell your mom.
Yeah, that was the other play.
That was one of the plays.
Had a cool dad.
We're bonding, son. Yeah. Isn't this cool? Look at his head explode.
I remember watching. There was a movie with Stallone and Sharon Stone where they're banging. And that was one of the first movies where my dad was like, my dad was like, don't watch that. And I just like kept watching, and he's like, all right, just don't tell mom.
Parenting back in the day when you realized you can't really do it. Fuck it. Just don't tell your mom. We're going to watch this anyways eventually.
We're not going to talk about this. Just don't bring it up, please.
Yes, this is
and then,
awkward.
and then when you're like a kid, you bring it up anyways. You're like I was around my uncle, and they had it on, and I'm like, I can watch this. My dad watched it. And then my mom found out because through my uncle. No. And he's like, what the hell?
Yeah. He ratted him out.
Like, what? It was fun. I liked seeing those.
It's so uncomfortable when you're watching a movie and all of a sudden there's like an inappropriate scene and you're like, everybody's in the room.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird.
Even to this day, if I'm watching a movie and boobs come on and my mom is there,
that's
I'm like,
awkward. That's awkward. You don't want to sit there.
I'll leave. I'll leave the room, or I'll know that boobs are coming on. I'll change the channel, or I'll just get out.
Or you have to take this phone call.
Yeah, you got to do. You can't be sitting there. But it's weirder watching it with your mom. As a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get all hot. You start
sweating.
When
I watch things with Anthony's mom, it's always weird.
I definitely don't get all hot when I'm watching a
no, I'm saying like hot as an uncomfortable sweating. Oh. You're just like, oh. Yeah, when I watch movies with your mom, I get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But you can also argue that if you don't have blocks in place everywhere, it's really easy to fucking pull stuff up.
Definitely. I was just presenting the opposing.
It was harder back in the day.
I feel like that I'm just trying to figure this out. Like, so if you have a kid, you gotta like personally like add a block to
everything. Your fucking internet, every
streaming service. You gotta put a punch a code in or something.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, but yeah, either you put it on your phone, you put it on YouTube, you put it on all of the streaming apps.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah,
everything should just be behind a paywall.
No, it is mostly. But all right. Some more Marvel.
There was a video on YouTube real quick. There's a video on YouTube of this like guy parenting his son.
Yeah.
And he was like telling his son about, because his son was looking up titties on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey man, like if you have questions, like just ask me. You don't have to be looking up titties on YouTube. And furthermore, you're looking up titties on YouTube and you're seeing like women being breastfeeding. Like that's not the right titties to be looking at.
The kid's so confused.
It's like, what's wrong with you? If you want to see some titties, just ask me. I'll show you. Don't be looking up titties on YouTube. You're going to see breastfeeding.
The kid grows up and it'll be like, why ain't milk coming out of these things? What's wrong?
I'm sucking on by that. It's like, oh no.
Turns into fucking Homelander.
I saw that. It was on like a video. It was like a TikTok video or something.
Yeah, it was like Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah.
The kid was like being a cool father about like the kid seeing titties.
I think I saw that too. That was
Let me
good
be a cool
parenting.
dad by recording myself yelling at you about looking at tits.
No, he was very calm about it, though, right? He was just
He was
explaining
calm.
it.
He was just like, dude, that's messed up that you're looking up titties on YouTube.
And everybody's praising him for proper parenting in the 2022.
He's like, just ask me.
Yeah, it's how you properly parent. You videotape your parent.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, the
right.
videotaping is a big question.
Just to prove. Look, I'm a good parent. See?
Look, I take care of my kids.
It's the only time he's talked to him in like 12 years.
Right. If it didn't
Yeah.
happen on social media, then it
Didn't
never
happen.
happened, right?
You're a shitty parent for not posting photos of your kid growing up. Ugh, what a world. Okay, other Marvel fun news. If you wanted to purchase Spider-Man No Way Home, well, again, at the day this show posts, it's available on VOD the day before, March 15th. The release date got moved up for Spider-Man. So while we're recording it tomorrow, you can buy Spider-Man No Way Home on digital. The reason being the entire Blu-ray of it had leaked online and they had to push the release up, which is, great. But the leak is not great, but great. And then I think physical copies still coming out in April. The movie currently is sitting at a domestic gross of $789 million. You add another billion and change internationally. It made over $1 billion just internationally. Worldwide box office right now, $1.8 billion.
Oh, so it didn't quite get $2 billion.
It didn't
but
crack
close.
two. It's like 869 million, $1 billion.
I've come around on this movie.
Okay, to what?
I love this movie.
Yes.
I am damn tired talking about this
Yes,
fucking
we
movie.
talked about it.
The fact that you find a way to put it into
I just
every
want
week
people to know
for the last 8 months.
you can buy Spider-Man No Way Home digitally right now as you're
Thank
listening
you.
to this. Very exciting. That's all. I'll be buying it right away, watching it again. Okay, enough about the Spider-Man. Let's move on to this. Deadpool 3, you guys, has a director. They've announced that Ryan Reynolds' buddy, Sean Levy, who has directed him in 2 movies this year, is going to be directing Deadpool 2. They recently worked on Free Guy and then the Adam Project that's on Netflix, sci-fi movie. And he's now going to be directing Deadpool 3. And he's even gone so far as to say that he's really going to try whatever it takes to get Hugh Jackman to come back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3. Holy shit.
Geek boner.
That would be crazy. What do you guys think? I have not seen any of Sean Levy's movies,
I've seen a couple.
so I don't know his directing style. Do you think, Ruggs, this is a good fit for the Deadpool 3? Will this be R-rated? Then again,
It could be. The Adam Project was like a profanity-filled, movie. So I think that I don't think it was an R though. I think it was definitely PG-13. But they really use a lot. There was a lot of language in that. So I think that if they're gonna do an R or PG-13, I think that this guy, I guess he lets what's his name, do whatever he wants. What's his name? The guy
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Lets him do whatever he wants. So
he's done a lot of comedy movies, this Sean Levy. Like,
he seems to he got a good performance out of him in the Adam Project, a pretty decent one anyway. I don't know. I feel like he's fine. He doesn't really inspire me. He's just kind of like, he's a competent director, I guess. He's just kind of like, any like boilerplate Marvel director. Same kind of thing.
Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick are returning to write this movie with Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux Logelin. What do you think, Anthony? You excited for Deadpool 3 with new director?
I don't know if I'm excited, but I do like that Deadpool 3 will be in the MCU.
Yeah.
I like that. Obviously, I'm a huge MCU fan, so anytime you can add a character that I think is popular with the fans, I think that's a good thing. And it's definitely going to be rated R. They've already said it's going to be rated
That's
R.
true.
And they're opening up by having all these Netflix shows on Disney Plus. They're making it okay to have a rated R stuff.
Parental
Disney,
controls.
Sure, yeah, Disney Plus, those shows are rated R.
Yeah.
Kingpin cut someone's head off with a car door.
Oh my God! And Punisher scrapes somebody's face with jagged mirrors.
Right. So this is their way of making it okay for some rated R stuff.
This movie will is not going to start filming this year, so we're a few years away from
How
this
old
thing.
is Ryan Reynolds?
That's a
I bet
good.
he's older than you think.
Ryan Reynolds.
Guess real quick before you look.
I'm
it up.
going to say
48.
you're going to say 48. I'm going to say 45, 46, 47.
Yeah, Imran's closer. 45.
Oh, he's 45. Oh, he's my age. He was born the same year I was. I'm a little bit older than him.
Put your two pictures together and have people guess who's older.
You know what?
Do you think one person would guess he's older?
If you put me next to him, he's going to look like he's 24 years old. Even though we're the same age. Technically, I'm a few months older, but I look like I'm 15 years older. Yes. But Ryan Reynolds, if you need someone to make you look younger, just hire me. I'll stand next to you.
They should have had you being that albino chick in the movie.
They called me the older. I stand next to people and make them look younger.
What was the Domino?
Oh, Powder.
No,
Domino.
We're about Powder.
Oh,
was that her
Powder
name?
was another. The kid was all white and he had
No, I'm
powers.
talking about the girl.
Domino had vitiligo too in the movie. Yeah, in Deadpool.
Yeah.
I could have. I've been a sexy Domino. Or they just gender swap it. They gender
You had
swap
bigger
everything.
boobs.
Yeah, I got bigger boobs than Zazie Beetz. Zazie Beetz ain't got nothing on these B cups over here. Male
Jesus
B
Christ.
cups. But yeah, so Deadpool 3 is moving forward, and let's hope it's raunchy and they get Hugh Jackman. I don't know.
Picturing him running a man's ear.
A brazier, the bro.
Yeah, the bro.
Okay, let's move on to DC. You're sick of talking about Spider-Man. Are you sick of talking about Batman? Probably not. We only talked about it for 3 hours last week.
Batman?
The Batman.
Yeah, what about
some
it?
shit?
Let's spoil some shit, Batman. This movie has made $465 million. It's going to make $500 million soon worldwide. Not bad for the $200 million
Very good.
budget. Yeah, domestic.
Second biggest ever.
Yeah.
Or during the COVID era.
Yeah. So it's still doing good. And now they have said, after seeing the money, the Penguin spinoff is officially a go.
Oh, shit.
So we're going to have more Colin Farrell in a fat suit doing Robert De Niro as the Penguin. I'm the Penguin. Little bit the Penguin. Little bit.
I'm curious how that's going to play out.
I mean, I'm surprised that he wants to put on that fucking suit for a TV show.
I'm surprised that they're making. I guess I'm not because it's DC, but I'm just surprised that they're making an antagonist-run TV show.
I mean, Do
they want to make the Penguin like a sympathetic character?
No, you can't. This got to be a bad guy. This has got to be like a Sopranos fucking show where he's. And I don't know if it's a prequel or it's going to take place after the movie.
That's what they're going to do? They're going to do The Sopranos?
They could just do The Sopranos. I mean, it's going to be in the crime world of Gotham and the Iceberg Lounge. Is it how he becomes? He's not even the Penguin. Is it how he becomes this Oswald? I don't know. That is.
What is that name? Oswald Cobblepot.
Oswald Cobblepot. What do you mean? Like German or Hungarian?
That can't be.
I don't know.
Yeah, what is that?
Cobblepot.
English.
It's English.
So why is
Anglo.
why is he acting? He's Italian.
Because that's what mobsters are.
Because, yeah, he's a gangster. He's just embracing it. He's like, I gotta sound like the guys in the movies.
There's so many. There's gangsters of all different nationalities.
Yes, there are. There's Irish gangsters.
Well, he's only seen those movies.
There's lots of gangsters.
Italians. There's Yakuza. There's all sorts.
Everybody has gangsters.
Every
ethnicity's got gangsters.
And he just
Who's
and
the
he's
best
English.
gangster of all time?
The fucking
movies?
The foot. No, the hand.
The hand
The
and the
Yakuza.
foot.
No,
The triad. These are all
Wait, are we? Is this real or movies or
On film. On film.
on film? What are the best gangsters?
Yeah.
Mm.
The best gang on film.
Well, it's got to be what the Godfathers,
Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Tony Montana and Scarface and his
Whoa.
crew.
You don't like
That's a good
You don't
gang.
like The Sopranos? The best gang?
I've never seen The Sopranos.
Sopranos
No.
are very good.
They're not. Would you consider that film?
The Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
the
not
film.
TV
That's
show is
TV.
different, though.
Oh,
That's the thing, is you
you're
got
right.
more time with them.
You got
There's
more
so many
time.
more TV shows with good
Yes, there are.
gangsters.
Goodfellas. Those gangsters are good. Whatchamacallit, Robert De Niro at 85 years old as a gangster.
Eddie
is
Martin
pretty good.
Scorsese movie.
I mean, it's all Italians because the Italian ones have been glamorized
We got
to
gangs in New York.
to the nth degree.
What was that one? Wasn't it Irish Gangsters, the movie with Daniel Day-Lewis about New York in the 1800s?
Gangs in
That's
New York.
Gangs in New York.
Yeah, Gangs in New York. Those are
There's
Irish.
the one that that was made by Guy Ritchie in 2000.
Oh, Snatch?
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are like
you got
English.
Yeah, you got English. You got the Gangster Squad. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
But
Peaky
there's
Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
What about the gangsters in Boys in the Hood?
Oh, see,
Oh.
Those aren't fun gangsters.
listen, all those movies from that period.
Menace to Society.
Menace to Society.
Those
Juice,
aren't
Boys in the Hood.
Those are
glamour
the Bloods and the
gangsters.
Crips.
Yeah.
those are. Oh man, this isn't fun life
Yo,
at all.
what about the gangs from the Dick Tracy movie with War Beatty and Madonna? No, Hammerhead. Fucking mind if I call you Dick? You got Al Pacino in that one.
What about the Ice Gang from Batman and Robin?
You don't like those guys?
Those are awesome.
They got to wear skates.
They were in skates.
I my favorite is from the Tick comic books. You had a dude named Chairface. He literally had a chair for a head. He was a gangster.
Best
It made no
gangsters.
sense. Chairface. Yes.
There's been a lot of gangsters. That'd be a good top 5 best gangsters.
Best gangster movie or best gangsters? Yeah.
Not movies, just the best gangsters.
What about
Which one's the-
what about Fast and
I
the
think is
Furious?
Falcone a
Is there
good
gangsters?
Is Falcone a good gangster?
Yeah.
You've seen that he's a gangster, but you've seen that gangster for 50 years
Yeah.
now.
So it's
An
like
Italian
basically,
gangster.
yeah.
I mean, it's a comic book accurate, but we've seen that so many times.
Yeah, we got to look into this. We got to put some thought into it.
I mean, that's a whole
That's
whole
off the
show
cuff.
in and of itself.
Best gangsters.
70s and 80s gangster movies,
Yeah.
90s, early 90s.
No, they're always be in style. Like they're always making gangster movies. Like that's never going to go out of style.
So, I heard this rumor, speaking of the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, changing the subject. A shorter version of the movie
Yes.
came out.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. And
Like
You
when
have
they
it
were
in the
testing
notes?
it.
yeah, and it did, well, they tested a shorter version, but it didn't go over as well. So is this like a good? Is this a good argument for making
What
a
do you
long
think
ass
they
movie?
cut out? Like they didn't. What do you think? They just cut out some of the. Depends on what they cut out. Like
Yeah,
there's some
it's
stuff
tough to
that you
tell.
need.
Yeah, you're not going to know what exactly they cut out, but
I think I still stand by that this can be a shorter movie.
that's
This can be
yeah.
a 2.5 hour movie, and I think it's the same movie.
But it's interesting that they had a shorter cut and there's a longer cut, and the shorter cut didn't. Maybe there wasn't enough closure, or
We'd need to know what they
right,
cut out.
right.
So
I mean, there's definitely scenes like the at the end when they're leaving Catwoman and on the bikes. Like, it didn't need to be that long. Did it? No, I don't know.
I mean, the common critique I've seen now that I've actually watched reviews, because I try to avoid them
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
record the show, is there's a lot of people, including I think John Pilati, who's not a professional reviewer, but have said that the movie, you think it ends and then it's not ended, and then you think it's ended there,
And
and
then
it's
it
like,
keeps
nope,
going.
it's
Yeah.
still not over. So like anytime you have that thought where you're like,
That's never
I think
good.
this movie's over.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it continues, you're like, that's not good. I don't think that's ever a good
Yeah,
sign.
it reminds me of the movie we're going to review later on.
Movies that go on too long.
This one, no, this one, no, that not the same category,
Yeah.
but yeah, I see where you're going with that.
But that was a movie that I'm like, oh, why is this still going on? But also kind of like the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Yeah,
where you're like, the
that's
movie's
definitely
over.
one of those.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. It was
Where there's a clear ending
Yeah,
to the movie,
yeah.
and then it's like, oh shit,
It's like,
it's not
no, you
over.
caught all the bad guys. They killed them. It's over. Nope, not over.
I'm on comicbookmovie.com.
Yeah.
It says Umbrella Academy season 3 is coming out June 22nd of 2022.
Oh, of this year. Oh, yeah, I think
Yeah.
they put out a teaser. I'm still into that show.
I didn't like the first season, and I like the second season. So
I mean, 7 is it's 7, right? That the little kid, he's the best. I love him.
oh yeah, is that his name? 7?
I think he's 7. They're all numbers. But
that's another show though where I need to look up what happened.
well, remember,
again.
there's a whole new team. There's that other society, and they have numbers, and everything changed because they fuck with time, and there was time travel.
Oh yeah, time travel.
And now it's like a whole new team of things. So that okay, man. There's a lot coming out this year. But maybe not as much as we thought. I'll get into that in a second. Last bit of Batman news. We kind of all dug Michael Giacchino's Batman score, right? Is that right?
For the most part, yeah, it's haunting.
It's haunting. It's
Memorable.
It's memorable. It's a little more memorable than some, not as memorable as others. Well, his new gig is confirmed not to be a composer, but a director. He will be directing Marvel's Disney Plus Halloween special that's going to feature Gabriel Garcia as Werewolf by Night. And he's directing.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's That seems
That's a jump.
He's not
crazy.
going to make the music?
No, he's
he'd
actually
probably make the music too. you
and
think?
direct. He's going to do everything. He's going to star in it.
That's crazy. Have
Right?
you ever- is that?
I
I don't. Obviously, I'm not as deep in the behind the scenes of filmmaking, but a composer jumping to director.
I can't think of
Well-
another instance of this.
I think that it's probably, yeah. I don't know about this. Definitely, John Carpenter scores his movies.
Oh,
So he does write those songs, I think, to some of his movies. So there has been directors who make movies for their own films, and that does happen. But I've never heard of somebody who's specifically a composer that becomes a director. But I feel like they have a lot of the same talent pool. They have to actually envision and create an atmosphere that to kind of complement the visuals, right? So they must have an understanding of storytelling, right?
you got to juggle. Yes, storytelling through music, which is very much what he did in that movie, and juggling many things. Like, I always thought composers are fucking. They got to be genius, brilliant people to have in your head the melody and the line for each instrument and going on and be able to transcribe it and write it down and make it happen. Like, that's crazy.
If you think about Lin-Manuel Miranda,
Yeah, he's a fucking
he's a
genius.
composer
Yeah.
and a director.
That's a
right?
brilliant musical mind to be able to and to write lyrics of a show to go with all the music and the whole comp. It's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That makes my head hurt.
I see weirder shit.
Let's see. John Carpenter.
Well, the only thing is we don't really know what Werewolf by Night or this Halloween special, like what.
It might just be an hour long.
Right. We don't know the length. I don't think it's going to be a full-length movie. A special usually implies, 30 to an hour at most?
So, maybe an hour and a half.
20
It
minutes
could even
long.
be like 15 minutes.
Sure.
Or it could be like an hour and a half. I don't know. But
How long was the Star Wars special when they did that back in the day?
which one?
Anyone remember?
The
Halloween,
the
the Christmas
holiday
one.
special? I think
Yeah, the
that was
holiday
just
one.
an hour on TV because it was broadcast on TV.
With commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Chewbacca
Who got
family.
introduced in that? Was it Boba Fett?
But yes, in a cartoon.
Got it.
He was riding a giant creature, and then that's the line he refers to where he's like, I've ridden bigger things than this Rancor. That was his actual first appearance, was in that.
Yeah, and there was like Wookiees
hilarious.
and stuff.
So as far as composers and being directors or directors being composers, the list is not long. John Carpenter's name comes up. Anthony Hopkins composed music
Is he directed anything?
during his lifetime. I don't know if he's directed anything.
That doesn't surprise me at all that Anthony Hopkins.
Robert Rodriguez is also a musician and a filmmaker. So he might have done some of the music for El Mariachi. And then they've got John Carpenter. They got Clint Eastwood as a composer and a director.
Get off my damn lawn.
Yeah, I guess he's fucking composed some jazz shit. And Charlie Chaplin, who back then he did everything. So
Yeah, that's a different era.
yeah, that doesn't count. But that's not many.
No, I think it does count. It's
It does
just a completely different era.
It is like a crazy jump. I can't remember the last time I've seen a composer become a director, but let's see how that goes for the Disney Plus Halloween special. Before we get to the last thing, listener, I want to let you know we got a cool TeePublic shop where you can buy niche podcast swag like shirts and hoodies and mugs with our logo with Rug Boy's face. Visit jockandnerd.com/shop. Where there's many styles and colors to choose from. They're having sales all the time. Pick up some stuff, wear it out. Wear it proud. Show all your friends. Send us a photo.
Show your love.
Show your love. Okay, so I was just saying there's so much content coming out this year in terms of movies. Like the next superhero movie for us coming up very soon, Morbius, April 1st. Whether we're looking forward to that or not is debatable. And then you got Doctor Strange in May, and like every other month has a big superhero release. There's a little less now as Warner Brothers reshuffles some of the DC movies.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Unfortunate timing because they just released that promo before the Batman. They released it in my theater where it was like, look at all this shit coming out from DC this year.
The sizzle reel that had Black Adam, The Flash, and Aquaman, and the Batman. Well, the Batman's out. Those other three movies, all the release dates have been changed. Black Adam pushed back 3 months to October 21st, 2022. Okay.
Right. Still this year.
Still this year. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Aquaman was set to open against Avatar 2 on December 16th. They have blinked. So you were going to have two underwater, big budget fucking spectacle movies. That's exhausting to think about seeing this, as we talked about. That has moved to March 17, 2023. So a few months later. They instead have thrown to Avatar's jaw the Shazam sequel, Fury of the Gods, moved up to that December 16, 2022 date. Which means either they don't think Shazam is going to do anything and they're just like sacrificing it.
No, that's not it.
Or
they also moved the flashback, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's I was saving that one because that's the big joke. But the Flash moved November 4th, 2022 to June 23rd, 2023. That is a 7-month shift.
Oh, shit. That's crazy.
For a movie about a speedster, this has been the slowest fucking time. They've been trying to make this movie since 2004. The first idea for this movie came out. Holy fuck, The Flash.
Wow.
So here's what I read happened is now that movies are back in business and Hollywood is kind of seemingly back in business, all these production studios are now, they were all like bare bones for like the VFX, and now they're all being pushed into high gear to make these movies. So they just don't have enough time to do all the VFX. Yeah. So they've had to push all these back because some of these are still being filmed.
Yeah.
But the reason why Shazam is being pushed up is because that movie's already completed
it's done.
filmmaking.
Okay, that makes sense.
So a lot of these movies have a lot of VFX work that still needs to be put in, and there's now a crunch on all the VFX artists that are doing this because movies are back in full
They got
steam.
work.
Wow.
But
it does seem weird that like Marvel is seemingly still, although they pushed back some stuff, but they're seemingly still on schedule in terms of like keeping 3 movies a year.
Yeah.
And this one, like now it's just 2.
Yep.
This year
They had
from
4.
DC. It's like serious momentum loss.
Do these studios have house effects, or are they still going like little independent places?
I bet they use all different.
They do a bunch.
Yeah.
So they go to the big ones like Sam Winston or whatever
Industrial Light and Magic and shit. Weta, yeah.
So they do the big ones, but then they also outsource some of the others. Like not all of it goes to one. It goes to multiple studios or multiple VFX companies. So it goes to big ones and little ones. So there's that coordination of trying to get it all done because not all the big ones can do an entire movie. So then you outsource some of the smaller stuff to the smaller ones.
I mean, I
think that's why they're delayed.
I don't mind that they pushed it back because they were trying to cram a lot of shit in this year, and weekends and dates were getting stacked with shit. When obviously they want people to come back, but fucking spread it out a little. But still, this Flash movie is hilarious. Like, will it ever come out?
Yeah,
that's the one I'm most looking forward to. Also,
crazy.
Are we moving on from this?
Yeah, we're done. What do you got?
I got 2 RIPs.
Oh yes, let's talk. Okay, we'll end the news with the RIPs. Yes.
I got one that happened just today that you guys probably don't care about. Razor Ramon passed away.
Who?
Big WWE guy.
Oh, he's a WWE.
He's gone.
Oh,
RIP. And then William Hurt passed away.
Yeah, that was that General Ross. Thunderbolt Ross.
A lot of other movies. A lot of good movies. Only like 60 in their 60s.
I think
unfortunate.
William Hurt was 71.
Oh yeah. Razor Ramon was 63.
Wow, he was a legend. When did he wrestle? What years was he big?
He was a 90s guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was like a bad guy, right?
That was his gimmick. How about one for the bad guy? Say hello to the bad guy.
Oh my God, Razor Ramon looks like if Kraven the Hunter was a pro wrestler. That's what he'd look like. Holy shit,
like that.
Jesus.
His gimmick was like this Cuban suave asshole.
Did he have an accent?
He did. He'd open up with everything.
Was it real?
Hey, yo. What?
Was it real or was it a put on?
I think his real name is Scott Hall, so I'm not sure.
I don't know.
That he was actually
It's not a real accent.
I'm not sure he was actually Cuban.
Yeah.
But the William Hurt one was also like, whoa.
Yeah.
And not to gloss over his death, but the first thing I thought of after being like, oh man, that sucks, was, oh man, no Red Hulk.
They could recast. It's fine.
Well, if they're gonna, this is a real thing though for Marvel.
Yeah.
Like Chadwick Boseman, they're not recasting him.
Right.
If you're not going to recast Chadwick Boseman, do you are you just going to take this stance when our actors pass away, that character dies?
Right. Is this like a blanket thing now?
No, I think they should just get another white guy with a mustache. That's
You think
it.
so?
Yeah, why not?
That's what I would do, but I also don't agree with them not recasting T'Challa.
Right.
I think that role should go to someone
I
else.
think even Chadwick Boseman's brother was like, you should recast
It's just a new way of thinking. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you have,
legacy roles.
Not only that, but like if, someone dies, you got to replace, the show must go on.
You get a variant T'Challa and bring him into this universe.
What do you think that people can't? They used to switch like sisters and Roseanne every 2 weeks.
Oh, moms and sisters and everything always switched. They were like, that wasn't the same girl as last year.
Yeah, they just fucking switch them out.
But William Hurt, fantastic actor. I mean, he has done so many amazing movies from the
He's in Body Heat.
Yeah, late 70s.
Altered States.
Broadcast news. Just
he was in the Dune, the TV Dune.
he was in TV Dune. He was in so many things. He was Duke Leto, wasn't he? Yeah. No, that guy's an amazing actor. That's a big loss because he was just great in everything. So, two sad stories. Thanks for bringing me down. Oh, he was in History of Violence too. He was in a lot of things. Okay.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to them. Let's take a break here. We'll play some promos. We'll come back and review the most Michael Bay-est film ever made, Bad Boys 2, right after this. No?
Maybe. We'll talk about it.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We'll get you back to your regularly scheduled podcast in just a minute. But we wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake on this highly produced advertisement.
That's right. It's the History of Bad Ideas, a.k.a. Hobie. You can find us on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast and on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. But if you like a podcast roundtable with 3 to 5 guests, usually every week, depending on sick leave, talking about all things geek, including movies, TV.
I ain't getting paid for this shit.
Blake bitching about something and ranting, and comic books and anything else that we can think of. We have a top 5 list every week, along with a box office news, and somehow we have listeners, so they send us some feedback we answer every week. You can find us on iTunes,
Stitcher,
Facebook,
Spotify,
and any good podcast app, because if you can't find us on that podcast app, it's not a good podcast app.
Damn straight. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio. Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee. Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed it's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
The Force will be with you, always.
Doc and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, if we've been giving you geek boners for almost, it'll be 7 years soon, guys.
Wow, 7 years. 7 years of geek bonus.
This month, that is some serious medical condition. This month, soon, next week, March 23rd. Oh my God, it's coming up. It's going to be our 7-year anniversary.
Oh, God.
So that's a lot of value we've been giving you. Want to show you love, give back, join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Link in the show notes. Got to say huge thank you this week to Jesse Rodriguez for increasing his support. Jock and Nerd.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who has supported us for many months. You get fun stuff like access to an exclusive RSS feed where we post the show early. There's bonus content. There's hours of extra bullshit on there to enjoy. We do monthly Discord hangouts. That gets you in there. It's just for our Patreon subscribers. The next one is next week, Thursday, March 24th, a day after.
Jeez.
I know, it's up again. A day after our 7th birthday. And there's also a You Pick It tier where you can pick any movie to force us to watch and review. And we've done a bunch of them. We haven't done any in a while, but that brings us to this review here. But if any of that sounds fun, if you want to give back for all the geek boners, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. So, You Pick It tier. This week's movie review is sponsored by Rumberto Rivera, who has been a patron for 47 months.
Oh, shit.
That's almost like the whole time we've been podcasting. That's how many? That's really years.
Wow.
47 months. This is his.
No, that's not almost.
It's not 7 years. That's like 4 years. That's like four.
I can't
and a
do
half.
math.
I can't
so
do math.
you know
I know
that.
it's like over 4 years.
That's like almost the whole. That's actually
it's
like
not, it's half.
time.
Yeah,
But it's impressive nonetheless.
it's an impressive number. His first pick that we've already done on episode 293 was Ready Player One. Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One. It's a good movie. He has sent in. This is his second pick. And it is Bad Boys 2 from 2003. Randomly, the middle movie of a trilogy. I'm going to give you spoiler alert for this fucking old movie. Here you go.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This is the sequel, of course, to the 1995 movie Bad Boys. And then, hilariously, part 3 just came out, like in 2020, 17 years later, Bad Boys for Life.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a 17-year gap between parts 2 and 3. Now, he picked the second movie in this, right? And I have seen Bad Boys a long time ago. I don't remember it. But I believe somebody has a fresh memory of this movie, Anthony.
To prep for this show, I not only watched Bad Boys 2 as requested, but I can't remember the last time I'd seen Bad Boys 1.
Yeah.
So I decided to watch that first.
My.
And then watch Bad Boys 2. And I think we need to spend, like, first off, I want to know why Roberto Rivera picked Bad Boys 2. Because if there's any movie of this trilogy, and the fact that there's Bad Boys 3, which I haven't seen.
Yeah.
If there's any movie that has any cultural significance, it's the first one, not this one. So that's my first question.
Yeah.
Why the hell did you pick this movie?
Yeah.
This is not at all a memorable in terms of like any sort of historical significance. But that being said, I think we should spend like 5 minutes talking about Bad Boys and like what that movie and like any sort of memory of it or like anything. I guess I'll start. Before I even saw the movie or a couple days ago, I always remember the original Bad Boys as like a movie where it was like, a buddy cop movie, but I always remembered it being something that was held in like some high esteem.
Yeah.
Like for whatever reason, it wasn't like a big part of my childhood like some other 80s or early 90s action films, but I knew of Bad Boys. And I think I'd seen it. So I rewatched it, and it's Michael Bay's first film. Weirdly now to think back, but Martin Lawrence was the bigger draw at that time. So Martin Lawrence was the lead, and Will Smith was the backup.
Oh my God.
And it was basically the movie that made Will Smith like jet-setted his career.
Yep.
Because they were both doing TV shows, Martin and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yep.
So I rewatched that movie, and I was like, man, this movie sucks.
Oh, shit.
Michael Bay's first movie, and it is like, it is one of the worst edited filmed movies I've ever seen in my life. There are so many cuts in the action and of like chase scenes that you cannot follow what's going on. So I was like, how the hell, other than like the chemistry between Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, I was just like, after watching that film the other day, I went, how the hell did Bad Boys become a franchise after this fucking movie? Like, what do you guys remember about that movie if you've
I
seen it?
just think that it was a time where like these contrived action films, like with the ridiculous stunts and like super stylistic direction and, things like that were starting to come to the forefront. That was like the new way of action, because we had pretty much exhausted Arnold and Sylvester Stallone at that point. And it was like now time for this new act. That's where he had like the Michael Bay films. He did The Rock. He did this. There was, all of his other freaking action movies. There was movies like that kind of copied it, like Con Air and all that other stuff. And they put Nicolas Cage in there. They put John Woo movies. So this was like kind of at the beginning of all that. And I think that the people just were so starved for like a new kind of action movie that was representative of like things in hip hop and kind of trying to be really, really on the cusp and hip, that people liked it. They gravitated towards it. They didn't take it too seriously.
Well, what's funny though about Bad Boys is, although it's Michael Bay's debut, and it is if you want to put it stylized, I guess it could be considered stylized. I was thinking about Bad Boys, and I'm like, that movie is just a copy of so many other things. It's first off, it's a buddy cop movie,
right?
Which we'd gotten a lot of, but also if you think about the beats in the original Bad Boys, I don't know how much you guys. Even
I don't
remember
remember this movie at all.
I just remember Téa Leoni was in it, and she was like a hostage or something.
She was one of Will Smith's call girl friends gets murdered right in the beginning of the movie, and she's the friend of the call girl and witnesses it, and she's like in witness protection, but she's such a dumb character that she keeps getting herself into trouble, even though she's like supposed to be hiding. It's really bad. But if you watch that movie, they basically copied the plot of Lethal Weapon 2.
Oh yeah.
No, it's literally Lethal Weapon 2. It's these drug lords funneling in stuff into LA, and these narcotics guys are trying to stop it. And you have Will Smith is basically Riggs, who's this like loose cannon kind of suave guy. And then Murtaugh is basically Martin Lawrence, who's this like uptight, like I just want to be with my family type guy.
Right.
It's literally the same exact plot. So I was like, how the fuck did we just see like a better movie with better actors? Well, maybe not better actors, but better script.
Yeah,
and then they copied it, and then this movie also became a franchise.
Because it was urban.
I just found it interesting.
It was an urban take on the Lethal Weapons.
Yeah, it was like a stylish, or like the Lethal Weapon is kind of like even though those guys are pretty young, they feel like they're so much older than Will Smith.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
They're just the energy. For some reason, people just in their 30s in the 80s seem like they were in their 50s for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. Mel Gibson looks like he's 55.
He was in his
30s. I think when he filmed it, he's in his 30s.
Yeah.
So all I know is I do think they were capitalizing off the hip hop culture getting into movies and TV. You know, the early 90s, late 80s, you had from Do the Right Thing to Boys in the Hood to Juice to Menace to Society. And I remember I loved Martin, the TV show, and I loved the Fresh Prince show. I was watching both of those religiously. So I remember being excited. And I know I've seen the first movie. I cannot fucking remember it to save my life, though.
I'll say it is a very Miami movie.
Yes.
But I don't think it's actually all that much of an urban movie. It just happens to have two black actors.
One who's a rapper.
And
yes.
I don't think
he's
it's
a rapper,
an
but he's like
film. I just think it's one of those things they put comedians in action movies.
Yes.
They did that with Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans.
Oh, that was an action movie, wasn't it?
What the fuck was that movie? That was fucking ridiculous.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
And let's use the rapper, yes, Will Smith, but this is the rapper that's coming off of Fresh Prince and not swearing in any of his rap songs.
Yep, and still doesn't. And then the next year he does Independence Day, and then he gets even bigger.
This is the rocket ship to Will Smith being like, this movie was the rocket ship to Will Smith where it's like every year he released a film, you're like, I got to see it. There's another Will Smith movie because he does, what does he do after this?
Independence Day the next year.
Is that the next year?
Yeah, 1996, an Independence Day.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's that and then Independence Day and Enemy of the State, and then it's just like Will Smith becomes he becomes a franchise in and of himself.
And what's interesting, if you look before Bad Boys, he was actually doing like dramatic roles, you know, in movies until he got his niche there. What was the? Is it 6 Degrees of Separation or he does that before, and he's like amazing in that movie as a dramatic turn. He's really good in that, and I was surprised. I was like, holy shit, Will Smith can act. And then he's just becomes a fucking action star.
Even up into this movie, he was still on like that high of every year releasing a summer blockbuster and just being gangbusters.
And your question is really good about why the second movie. And I've talked to people I work with, and there seems to be a lot of love for the second movie. I think we can figure out why. Part of the reason is it's just more. And I think it's very similar to the first movie, just more.
Well, it's like Michael Bay was like, okay, last movie you had a car chase. We're going to have 3 car chases in this one.
Okay, so here's
we're going to have 3 times the amount of explosions.
Set up some numbers. Bad Boys 2 is on Rotten Tomatoes, 23% tomato meter, 4.3 out of 10 average rating. Okay, the first movie was made for $19 million. Ends up making $141 million. Huge fucking commercial success. The second movie The fucking budget is $130 million.
Wow.
They went from $19 million to giving Michael Bay, here's all the money. Do whatever you fucking want.
Right.
Opening weekend, it makes $46 million, and it finishes box office worldwide $273 million. So that's less profitable, clearly, than the first movie was, which is probably what they were hoping. This one is direct.
They were hoping it would be less profitable.
They were hoping it would be more profitable. Not what they were hoping. That's what I meant to say.
But they still made a money.
They still made good money. Directed by Michael Bay, and produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. So again, Bruckheimer and Michael Bay go on to make big, loud.
Bruckheimer's making a bunch of movies at this point.
Think about Bay had between this. He had The Rock, Armageddon, Pearl Harbor, and then Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So-
This is in peak Michael Bay right
Yes.
now.
After Armageddon was a pretty big movie.
I would argue that's his peak.
Right.
That's that he as Bill Simmons would say on the rewatchables, that's his apex mountain where it's the most juice he's ever going to have behind him.
Well, I don't think so. He did Transformers. That was pretty huge too. That was like a big.
That was big, but then he it was. I think Armageddon was more. He could have done whatever he wanted after Armageddon. Transformers was everyone liked Transformers, but it was already his career was going to start to go down.
I feel like his best movie is The Island.
Well, but he redoes a chase scene that is in this movie in the fucking island.
Yeah, he does.
And he also he uses
it falls out.
Yes, it's the same scene. And in this other movie, Pain and Gain, he reuses the chopper shots from Bad Boys 2 in Pain and Gain. So he is just recycling shit.
He's definitely a recycler.
Anthony, this is a long fucking movie that just keeps going and going and going. Break it down. What happens in this movie? What's the plot?
Well, I guess if you've seen Bad Boys 1, it is very accurate that it's the same thing. But the plot here is Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, it's 8 years, I believe, after Bad Boys. They're still partners in Miami as narcotics agents, and they're trying to basically do a bust on all this ecstasy that's coming into Miami that's laced with stuff from this Hispanic gangster. It's kind of ambiguous. Cuban?
Yeah. He's Cuban. Yes.
Yeah, and they're just trying to stop drugs from, they're just trying to bust this guy. That's really the whole movie. It's just him busting, and there's a bunch of side stuff that's going on that kind of plays off of the first film. So that's really it.
Pretty much it. It's just fucking.
It's just a gigantic. If I had to describe it, it's a gigantic buddy cop. It's an early 2000s buddy cop. Shoot 'em up, catch the drug lords. Thrown in, let's take breaks to do improv comedy bits.
Yes.
To make this 2.5 hours.
Do some banter, throw in some subplots that didn't need to be there, and then get to the next blow-up scene.
Just completely interrupt the pace of the movie and do a riff on the 15-year-old boyfriend taking out the daughter.
Oh,
even though
that's my favorite part of the movie.
Let's talk about
even though both of those guys are supposed to be have peak tension at this moment where they just hate each other, but they're going to play off each other to give this kid shit.
The Reggie scene is easily one of the most popular scenes from this movie, and it's hilarious. But boy,
that's not the movie. That one 5-minute scene is good, but is the whole movie good?
I'd say the whole movie's good. That scene is great. There's incredible, crazy, insane action scenes, right? And they are the choppy editing is there, and sometimes it's hard to follow, but they're entertaining and they're insane practical effects scenes. Like if you took this movie and just give me the action scenes and the Reggie scene and take everything else out, I would be fine.
I would say that Reggie scene works well on its own. It doesn't work well when you put it in the pace of the movie.
Yeah.
Because, as mentioned, that scene, right before that scene, Martin is revealed to, or Marcus is revealed to Mike Lowry that they're not going to be partners anymore. And they're like, this is the last mission. And they're like, they have that tension where it's like they've been hiding things from one another. And then all of a sudden, the movie takes a break to go, Now let's just do a bit.
It's like a
where we're
sketch.
making fun, where they're giving this 15-year-old shit for taking out the daughter. It's totally incongruent with the entire tone of the movie at that point.
And he's like, "How old are you? 50? You look like a 30-year-old. You look like 30, motherfucker."
And it's like, it's funny, but it's like, Jesus Christ, it's unnecessarily very
It's
mean.
so mean. I mean, they're assaulting him and frisking him.
They pulling out a gun on the
pulls
guy.
a gun to his head. I'm like, holy shit, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
he pulls a gun on the kid.
Will Smith is just saying the N-word way too much. I don't know if all that was necessary. And I felt bad for that. He did look like he was 30, but Jesus Christ. Apparently he comes back in the third movie, the same actor, Reggie, which is kind of funny. But holy shit, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? It just breaks into like an In Living Color sketch comedy bit.
Yeah,
they
it does
this
do
multiple
that.
times throughout
Out
the
of
movie.
nowhere. But
let's do opening thoughts real quick.
okay.
Oh, this movie was way too long.
First of all, it's over 2.5 hours. You thought the Batman was long?
It does not need to be
2.5 hours long.
This movie needs to be an hour and 20 minutes. And then we're in and out and we're good. 90 minutes is more than enough to tell the story
so
here.
self-indulgent. It's so much. It attacks you visually for the whole time.
They literally do the same like car chase twice.
It's exhausting.
Where shit is falling off and they have to dodge it. They did the one with bodies and then one with cars.
There's so much like weird, tasteless humor also now, and just like there is no concern for any human life. There's no consequence for the characters.
Collateral
People are
damage
dying
everywhere.
Left and right. I mean, on the one hand, we did our 80s action movie showdown. He's kind of channeling some of what was going on in those movies, right? But it's
100%.
But it has a different feel. It's just too much. I don't know.
It doesn't feel. They are doing those 80s things for sure. The amount of these are the two worst narcotics cops in the world.
They fuck up all the
right?
time.
Like the amount of, but this is like in lieu. That's like part of the gimmick of the action movies from the 80s and 90s. Is it was just like indiscriminate gunfire into like cities, right? But for some reason, it doesn't have that charm in this because I think it's just because it's like 15 years late. It's 2003 at this point.
I think there's a way it's being shot. It's there's parts of it, even though it's super stylized, like just the way that it's shot a little bit, kind of, there's a lot of point of view and a lot of this and that. It makes it feel more visceral. And so when people are like blowing each other away,
I mean, the explosions
it just has a
huge.
different impact. It's not as cartoony,
right?
As like, in 18, when you blow something up, there's always a guy flying in the air. Just like, it's not real.
Yeah.
Like, these are a little bit more graphic and a little bit more kind of like candy.
I mean, and this is kind of what Michael Bay does best is these, but his shots are always so close, so choppy editing. Everyone, you're looking at everybody from below up into their nostrils all the time. And there's
let me say this. This movie's better than the first one.
Oh shit! I was wondering about this is why I think people like this one because
this movie's better than the first one in that the plot, although still like doesn't need to be this long and it's kind of still like weaving in and out. The plot is actually a little tighter than the first one.
Really?
The characters are somewhat a little bit more likable. I mean, it's still at the end of the day, the movie still rides on Martin Lawrence and Will Smith having chemistry, which they do. But this movie's actually shot better than the first one. The first one is edited and shot horribly. This one actually has some pretty creative shots. Like there's the scene where they're with the Haitians in the shootout and they're doing the revolving camera.
the
the 360. I thought that was cool. Like the shots of or the chase scenes with the boat and the cars and then the dead bodies. I was like, I haven't seen this. Like this is kind of fun.
Intense.
It's very of its time, but I'll just say right off the bat that I think this is actually better than.
Well,
the
he
first
learned stuff, between making the two movies and then
it was a long distance. There's a lot of 3 movies in between. So
and to be given that budget, like he had the money to blow shit up and make things look like how he wanted, and he clearly used it.
You can clearly see though, like Michael Bay's worldview of like how to direct action and what's funny and not. You can see in this movie, you go, yeah, this just isn't going to last. Like this isn't a timeless thing the way he's doing
its
this.
Time was already done when it came out.
Yeah, this is very much of its time, and even at that time, maybe not at that time, but very soon after, you'd be like, wait, this movie's like racist.
Yep, it's homophobic,
sexist, and homophobic, and there's like problems because it's a white guy directing.
Yes, a
all of
white
this.
guy is telling him to keep saying the N-word. Will Smith, you're doing great. I mean,
Not
really?
only that, I mean, I wrote it down. It was like right away the drug guy refers to the women. He's like, "Get out of the bed, bitches!"
Yes.
Right. Later on, there's a naked dead girl where we get to see boobs. Rug's favorite.
Yeah.
And the coroner comes in and is like, "Okay, give me the bimbo."
Yeah.
She's a bimbo because she's dead and has big boobs.
And they're making jokes about big ass dead titties. I mean, like the dead body jokes alone.
dark.
Holy shit! What is happening?
Then they broadcast this like, which I thought was funny. This like conversation between Will Smith
In the
and Martin
video
Lawrence, where it's
store.
like they might be gay,
Yes.
right? And then it is kind of funny because he got shot in the ass. But then you have the late as they're leaving, the black lady goes, "You guys need Jesus."
Just that Michael Bay. See, Michael Bay was known for directing Victoria's Secret commercials
And music videos.
And music videos.
Nothing
So,
but,
like,
a lot of music videos.
his movies were just glorified music videos.
Yeah, with
So
violence.
he didn't really. He started to kind of like get a handle on directing by the time he did Pearl Harbor, I guess, to a degree.
Even Pearl Harbor was over the top for like an historical fucking biopic.
Absolutely. So yeah, he's always doesn't know when to stop. He's always overindulgent, and
nobody told him no in this movie. Like that's why I think it's the Michael Bay-iest fucking movie. Like he did everything.
He definitely
wanted.
has. Yeah, he definitely has full control of the reins at this point. It's a very. I mean, it is entertaining, but it's a very kind of mean-spirited.
It's so mean, and it's that kind of movie that age when there were mean-spirited, but like we had gotten past that. I felt like in 2003, where that in the early 2000s you had shitty action movies, but you also had some action movies getting smarter and better. So it was a weird time.
Well, also the early 2000s were a time when franchises were really a big thing, and summer blockbusters. But this was a time when like. It wasn't just superheroes that were making money. Like you could release a franchise movie in the summer as a blockbuster, and that could make money. Like anything could make money.
Yeah.
that's
So
before.
It almost felt like the we were a little bit more accepting of just like we just want to see big things on the screen right now.
Back in those days, the movies were more actor driven. So it's talent driven. It was like either the director or the actor is what sold you on the movie. It had nothing to do with the IP. The IP was like,
but having IP helped.
Yeah. I mean, it started to become a thing. Like, Star Wars was always there. They started doing all the other stuff, but like I think Harry Potter's just started coming out.
But you had shit like the Transporter trying to be a franchise, like Triple X, like these kind of fucking big action movies trying to becoming franchises.
Yeah. But that's because they were like Vin Diesel vehicles.
Right.
Vin Diesel was hot.
Right. And Jason Statham.
They put him in everything.
Yeah.
Jason Statham started to pick up. So, like, it was one of these things, actor-driven franchises. Mission Impossible was the big one, and Bourne Identity, that was the big one at the
better.
time.
Do you think this movie, Bad Boys 2, had an effect on action movies in the next decade? No. This is
not going to be remembered as one of the best movies.
It hasn't been clearly.
It's literally, if you've seen Too Fast, Too Furious, it's the same type of movie. Miami, drugs.
I mean,
fast
Miami
cars,
looked great. Yeah.
Bright. Yeah. Orange screen. Looks great in terms of like how it's filmed, but completely forget. It's like, I wrote down, it's junk food, but it's junk food, and you still eat it anyways.
Yeah. Oh, it's super junk food.
Time.
But it's like too much junk food that doesn't know when to stop. There's a couple of things I found entertaining. Let's just go through the stuff we liked. Like, I like how it opens up with a KKK drug deal shootout. I was not expecting that. I just love when the guy goes,
Shannon's there.
And Michael Shannon. Weird cast. Michael Shannon as one of the KKK guys. You got Joey Pantoliano, but I love when the guy goes white power, and then they just reveal themselves. They're like blue power, motherfuckers. I was like, oh wow, that's what we're doing. Okay, but you got great things like Will Smith jumping in the air with two guns and rolling at the crowd and shooting, and they never get hit except when Will Smith shoots him in the ass. It's the only time either of them get hit. The rats fucking? What the fuck is going on here, Michael Bay?
Yeah, they fuck.
Why do you have to show us? He's like, they fuck like us. Why did we need to see that? I don't know.
That was a weird
That was a
scene.
weird,
That was a
weird choice.
That was a really weird
Very
scene.
weird choice. That's a thing that happens in this movie. Marcus getting high. That scene is hilarious.
That scene is he's high on ecstasy. It's funny, but they clearly didn't even know what that even meant. Yeah, that's not at all.
First of all, how does he not notice that there's pills in the glass that he just picked up? But I just love when he's like, "This is a nice fish, big fucking eyes, but it's a nice fish." It's just like this is supple leather. It's really nice.
That's my point of this movie when I brought it up is they're on this track, right? But they're always like, let's do a comedy bit. So then they have him take the ecstasy and they go 10 minutes where he's in Joe Pantaleone's house and they're just doing this bit where he's on X.
Joey Pants.
And Will Smith's trying to tell the story to the captain but also stop him from like exposing that he's on X.
So silly.
Yeah, at that point I was like, man, they're really like taking their time with this shit. Let's go.
Yeah, how is the captain not noticing how weird fucking Marcus is being? And he's just like, oh shit. But like, there's the Latin, the Cuban drug lord. First of all, the guy playing that, he was horrible.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Horrible. Then you got fucking Russians with Peter Stormare. There's a Russian gang who's fucking great. I always love Peter Stormare. Then you got fucking Haitians. There's just so many things going on.
Well, I actually kind of like that just because it's very Miami.
Oh, that's true.
You got Cubans, Russians, Haitians. Like, what these movies did really well, both Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2, is they very much felt like you were in Miami, which is, different than a New York, an LA. Like, Miami has its own feel, and Michael Bay does a really good job of capturing that.
It looked great.
We're in
Miami looked great.
You can definitely feel like I'll give him credit on that. You feel immersed in Miami culture when you watch these movies.
We got Henry Rollins in this fucking movie. That's I also thought was
he had a little cameo.
Let me ask you this: how does Marcus afford that house if he's just a police officer? And how does Mike afford that nice car?
Well, property is
just
cheap.
Police officers.
He's got a lot of expensive cars. Did they say he has a trust fund or something?
Yeah, that's a thing in the first movie where Mike Lowry has a trust fund, and they reference that again, but it's like never touched upon why he had what his trust. Where did he what his parents did to have that trust fund?
Yeah, Florida property's not that expensive, I don't think, at that time. But the trust fund, that car that's the weird thing.
Yeah, it's they're one of the scenes I really liked was when they're describing to the captain, played by Joe Pantaleone, Joey Pants, about what happened and like that big chase scene. It's right after, and they're explaining what an X dealer is to him. Yeah, and I wrote this down. It's like they're explaining to him the X dealer, and Joe Pantaleone, he's like, Marcus is basically like, that's where they deal ecstasy. They call him that. And Joe Pantaleone goes, Marcus, I know what they call him. That's why I'm the captain. He's so, okay.
Jesus. And then, of course, the big moment where you have, we ride together, we die together, bad boys for life. And then suddenly everybody just volunteers to help them do this thing that's probably illegal.
Oh, probably illegal. That would have started a war.
Yeah, they go into Cuba and then do a siege. The siege, by the way, reminded me of the third act of Commando a little bit.
100%.
Right?
He had to have watched Commando.
Total Commando. And it's like
he totally saw Commando.
But there's so much destruction. They're driving their cars through the favela shacks. Like, are there people in there?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
they're just running over people.
The amount of...
I think that's like a trope, too, riding through. Like, they do that in a lot of movies. Didn't they do it in Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious, they do ride through the favelas, but it's more in Fast 5, that the bank vault is just destroying everything.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that scene.
There was one Jackie Chan movie where I think it was called Thunderbolt, that he did that too, I think.
And in a way, I feel like Zack Snyder had picked up on the Bayham destruction with his movies, That's like the next time we've seen destruction on that level. It's like Zack Snyder channeling Michael Bay.
I mean, I literally when they're riding through the favelas like that, first time, like, man, if you're thinking about this movie in real terms, there's a bunch of people just getting fucking murked right now.
Everyone.
But I was like, when I'm watching, I'm like, how the hell did he film that? That's actually kind of cool.
Right? It's impressive.
Yeah.
There's some impressive fucking action scenes and explosions.
Like,
and
how many
shootout
cars
scenes.
did he have to total to do that?
Dude, they're throwing cars. I love that line. He's like, they throwing cars. At first, I was like, why did the dude steal a semi with cars to get away? That's a slow-ass vehicle. But then I was like, oh, I get it. But it was going really fast. And just the destruction, the boat, the fucking boat. Jesus Christ. And yeah, there's no way he would have dodged all that shit. And then the dead bodies, like, I don't know. There was so much dead body. Like when the guy's head.
His decapitation.
The guy's head. This decapitation. The guy's scalp falls off in the fucking morgue. I'm like, this is like kind of distasteful. Dead bodies. What the fuck is happening? And it just goes on and on.
I mean, it's a movie. It just like, I wouldn't have minded any of that stuff. It just was too long.
Yeah.
They just needed to edit this shit down, make it tighter.
Yeah. Well, they got, and the subplots, like the whole Sid and him hooking up, and then Marcus trying to be all whoosah and rubbing his ears.
The
like,
subplot where this is copying the first movie. So the first movie, they had a thing where they both, there's a part in the first movie with Tia Leone where she thinks Mike Lowry, who's Will Smith, and Martin Lawrence playing Marcus are flipped. She thinks Martin Lawrence is Mike Lowry. So Martin Lawrence has to pretend he's Will Smith.
Okay.
And hang with her at his Will Smith's place.
Oh, God.
And then Will Smith has to be Martin and like go live with his kids.
This is a sitcom episode.
So they're doing like this whole thing where it's like misunderstanding, and then they tried to keep that going here where Mike Lowry's dating Martin's sister, but Martin doesn't know about it. Or Marcus doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
And then Marcus is hiding the fact that him and Mike are not going to be partners anymore. So they're doing the thing again.
Yeah.
But they do it, and then they just completely trap it.
Nothing comes out of any of that. Yes.
Yeah. They find out, and then they're like, all right, well, we're just going to make fun of this 15-year-old.
Whatever. They just drop it and harass Reggie and physically threaten to shoot him.
I will say this, though. This is like peak Gabrielle Union.
She looks great in this movie.
She's looking great.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have much to do, and like the character's not very deep at all. But
she does some shooting and some stunt tricks.
Yeah, she's literally just there because Michael Bay thinks she's hot.
Yeah, and she's there to be kidnapped, so they have to save her ass.
Right.
Yeah.
I have two things I wrote down.
Yeah.
Did you recognize who one of the Russian guys was? That guy that gets cut up, Joseph?
No.
You probably don't. He's a UFC fighter, Oleg Taktarov.
Oh, shit.
But here's the other one. Well, I'm be surprised if you guys know. Do you know who that guy is, the nerd that's playing with the glasses, that's their like hacker?
Who was that guy?
John Sally. Do you know who that is?
Oh, isn't he a basketball player?
Yeah, he's an NBA champion basketball player.
John Sally was in this fucking movie? This movie has the craziest cast.
He's in the first one, too.
Oh, my God. Wow. Is he? And he's been acting, huh?
Yeah, he's 6'10".
He was good. Yes, now I remember. He was kind of funny.
Yeah, he's there. In the first movie, he's in jail, and they break him out of jail because they need him to hack something. So now in this one, he's still the hacker.
I wouldn't have cast him as a hacker, but I guess he pulled it off. He seemed like a nerdy hacker type. You know who else I loved? The Cuban gang leader's racist grandmother.
She was funny.
She was funny when he kills his cousin, and she goes, "Oh, what happened?" He goes, "Oh, he shot himself." And she's like, "Oh, it's too bad."
I'll pray for him.
Yeah, I'll pray for him. She just immediately believes it.
She just believes when he's got the gun in his hand. He's standing there. He's like, "Oh, he shot himself." She's like, "Oh, I'll pray for him."
She's like, "Oh, call it. Don't forget to call his mom." Like, I will.
And then she's got a shotgun and fucking fires at them. She got killed, right? They blew her away. Yeah.
No. One of the guys
knocks her out.
Yeah, apologizes.
Oh yeah, he goes, "I'm sorry, Mama,"
the face,
and then he kills it. Jesus, that's where he draws the line. He can't kill the racist grandmother.
I mean, she's old.
Yeah.
One of the other lines I liked is when Will Smith is fighting with one of the guys, and the guy bites him, and he just goes, after the guy bites him, he goes, "That boy bit me."
I do like when they're in the high-speed chase and the gun goes off in the car. He's like, "Shoot outside."
And then afterwards, they're like, he's hearing from insurance, and it's going to cost X amount of dollars. He's like, is it because of the glove compartment?
It's like, God damn it. But did we really need to see the pool gag done twice?
Of course you do. It's Michael Bay.
Oh, God.
You're right. This is like Michael Bay when he's really getting off the rails.
He must have been doing rails. No, he was doing rails of cocaine while making this movie, because that's how you feel after you're done watching this movie. I feel like I just did a big line of coke. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, this is a big time This is like all the 80s Coke, but they put it in 2003.
Yeah. I mean, it has the 80s hypermasculinity, the self-indulgence,
it's almost completely appropriate that we're doing this right after we reviewed some 80s stuff, because it's still a throwback to that.
It's absolutely those movies.
Well, you could tell that Mike probably loved those movies from the early 80s, and he wanted to kind of do his version of it. So, like Lethal Weapon, all those fucking movies came out in the 80s. So, like, what is this, 10 years later? How many years later is this?
Like 15.
Yeah, so.
Well, you definitely could see that, like, how Michael Bay feels about being a man in like either the military or the law. Like, his worldview is fucking do whatever it takes to get the fucking bad guy. Like that's what he thinks. Like that's what he grew up on.
Yep.
And that's what he wants to implore in all his actors is like, whatever it fucking takes.
With Stallone,
you hunt down that motherfucking bad guy, and who gives a fuck about everything else?
He's also one of these guys that always cuts a deal with like the army and like car companies.
Yeah.
And like glory. Like, he's doing like everything looks like an army.
He does
like
their war propaganda movies for them, pretty much.
As you brought up earlier, Imran, that ending, like that third act, is all of a sudden becomes like this, like this, like flag for the army, where it's like all these special op guys really want to get in on going to Cuba and fucking taking this down.
I'm in. Let's go. I'm like, really? You are violating so many international laws right now that this shouldn't even happen. So he's got a new movie coming out, Bay, this year called Ambulance. Have any of you seen the trailer? No. First of all, it stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Jake Gyllenhaal, and I shit you not, the trailer tells you the whole fucking movie in the trailer. And it's these like two bank robbers that they kidnap an ambulance with a paramedic and a body inside, and they're being chased by the cops. And then the two of them have a falling out. They don't agree what they should do. One of them doesn't want to kill, the other one wants. The whole movie is in the fucking trailer. Like, you don't need to watch the movie. Just watch the trailer and it's called The Ambulance. It's just like one word. But it's so Michael Bay. It's got the lens flare and the action shots.
I think it's okay to be Michael Bay. I think it's okay to have a style that's completely yours. Like that Michael Bay style, you could see it a mile away.
Yeah.
Like you watch a movie and you're like, oh, that's a Michael Bay film. He always makes everything look beautiful. He always makes women look beautiful. He knows how to shoot like these kind of rich palettes and in these like use slow-mo and all that stuff. I do think that he needs to kind of be a little bit more less self-indulgent and more kind of like
subtle.
Yeah.
Is that gonna happen? Well, here's the question. Look, now that action kind of evolved into smarter action movies. If you think of like the John Wicks, if you think of the later Mission Impossible movies, or even like Mad Max Fury Road, you
don't even have to go that far. Taken was coming out during this time.
Was also,
Bourne was coming out. Mission Impossibles were out this time.
The Expendables was coming out at this time.
No, they don't. Not Expendables. That's bad. You're totally off. I'm talking about like smarter action movies.
Taken was kind of smart. Taken goes back and forth between the smart and the dumb. But is there still...
Well, by smart, I mean like you're not like doing slow-mo ass shots of fucking women in these that movie.
There's no topless girls on ecstasy in a rave.
Right. You don't have a dead body of with big fake tits pulling her the bimbo.
But you do have Fast and Furious. That's when the Fast and the Furious started, like that franchise started to kind of germinate at that point.
So is there still a place for Michael Bay movies today?
I think that I wouldn't mind it. Like, I'm not above it. Like, I'm not saying like I'm gonna like clutch pearls and go, oh, I could never watch. I would love to watch another crazy fucking stylized action.
But I'm
movie.
talking about all style, no substance. Like now, the style comes with a little bit of substance.
Yeah, I think that we're a lot more aware and a lot more kind of like looking at these scripts a lot more because we're watching more movies and we're kind of seeing more tropes and when we're analyzing the shit out of everything. So I think that anybody who's writing a movie now has to be hopefully either even with the audience or one step ahead of the audience.
I would agree. I think we should circle back to Bad Boys because we're not done with it, but I think Michael Bay's time has passed. I think he can make movies, but I think this style of movie and Transformers, like that run on Transformers, by the end, his name is like his name does not have his name has really bad cachet.
Yeah, those movies weren't making money by the end. You know,
you would peak Michael Bay this time. The first Transformers, he could attach his name to stuff. You know, he was producing remakes of horror movies at one point.
Yeah,
and you attached his name, and it was oh, this is a name. But by the end, his name has just been so dragged through the mud, it's a joke. Michael Bay's name is not at all what it was before.
No way.
He can produce.
Yeah.
Let him produce. That's fine. Don't let him fucking direct. Because I heard the third Bad Boys is really good because he doesn't direct it, and it's got a much higher Rotten Tomatoes rating. It's in the 80s or something crazy.
I don't know. I feel like that the same guy who was as creative to kind of give us all this kind of interesting stuff to look at, even though it was saddled with a lot of stupidity.
Yeah.
Like I said, I see somewhat of an artist there, even though it's misunderstood. Like Zack Snyder is the same thing to me.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm I do see a visionary person there. I just don't think that they're being utilized properly. I don't think they know that their strengths are. They need somebody to guide them in a way.
You can, as a director, here's how I would put it. As a director, this is Michael Bay. You can only give the audience so much cocaine before they OD.
Yes, he definitely OD.
And we're definitely at the point.
Yes,
we're way past the point of OD. We're now looking back at it and we're going, shouldn't have done all that cocaine.
Yes, that was too much.
That's too much cocaine.
One too many.
I feel like if you have a really good producer that can rein you in, you might have something. But none of these directors want to be told what to do. They're too old.
And Michael Bay got too big. You're right. I think actually Transformers might have been his peak because that's when he got a good, he got an IP and they let him do whatever the fuck he wanted with that IP. And he the first Transformers was a big hit.
Yeah.
So then it was you have an IP, you've made a hit with a big IP. Now you can do whatever you want with this IP. And it was oh, Michael Bay with an IP and him just completely unhinged and making fucking Transformers robots twins that are talking in jive and shit. It's oh no. Oh no.
Not surprised.
That was too it was almost oh no, it's too far.
You should have seen that coming though once you gave him the Transformers.
100%.
You know, watching this movie.
You would have seen this coming for years.
Did you see the Ninja Turtles, Michael Bay?
Did he direct that one or he just produced it?
Produced.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't direct the Ninja Turtles?
No, he produced that one. It was the one with the CGI turtles.
Yeah, Jack Reacher played Raphael.
Yeah, that was what's his name? Yeah, Alan Ritchson. But also
he produced that one.
You can't, Jerry Bruckheimer is a big part of this movie and this whole scene.
100%. Jerry This is Jerry peak Jerry Bruckheimer, Joel Silver competing for action, machismo, who can produce the bigger summer blockbusters at this point.
Yeah, it was a competition. All right, back to Bad Boys 2. What is it at the end of the day? Is this movie entertaining? If this movie, it's on Bravo right now. They're playing it on Bravo. But if it was on, I feel like it's one of those movies I would just leave it on to watch these action scenes and then walk away when the action scene was over. Is it entertaining?
Yeah, I'd say it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's just overload.
Oh, 100%. When I brought up Bad Boys 2, I was with one of my friends last night, and I was I got to go home and finish Bad Boys 2. He's you haven't seen Bad Boys 2? I'm no. He's dude, the boyfriend scene is great.
The Reggie scene. Everybody's
I don't know if this isn't a movie that's going to go down in any top 20 of the early 2000s actions movies. But still, it is entertaining. There is parts of it where I'm I did laugh.
Yeah.
Martin, it still hinges on Martin Lawrence and Will Smith being funny.
They are funny.
And I still think they're funny.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Clearly, Will Smith is such a better actor though, and they're up against each other. It's just a little obvious.
Well, he's just different. Martin Lawrence had Martin Lawrence was very one note.
Yeah, he has
right?
the one thing. Yes.
He's very kind of I guess the word I'm thinking of, and I'm not sure it's great, is schizophrenic.
Yeah.
He's just always up in his thoughts, oh, this is the worst, what's going on? Whereas Will Smith had a little bit more range. He could play the cool guy, he could play the funny guy, he could do a lot more.
Woosa.
Yeah, he's just touching his ears.
Woosa, rub your earlobes. Woosa. That whole thing was so. I'm what is this whole part of this movie? I get it. You're trying to be new agey and whatever, but wow.
They're trying to be funny, right? They're trying to comment on the fact that there's all this machismo in these movies that it's like you need to see someone about this. You need to see someone and like deal with your feelings. But it's Michael Bay talking about it, so like he puts it in the most like digestible terms. So it's just like say woosah and touch your ears. That's what therapy really is.
Yeah, I mean, the big action scenes were great, and then it's just I was so exhausted by the end.
Yeah, it's just too much. Like as I said, there are things, but even in the action scenes themselves, they go on too long.
They're a bit too long.
Like they need to be reined in. Like this needs editing, my friend. This needs like you need like number one. I think if Michael Bay had a good script, again a good producer, and just someone that was writing his ass, that wasn't like giving him free reign. I think that Bruckheimer's just like, you're my boy, do whatever you want.
They clearly were doing blow together, and they're like, this is fine, I'll sign. How much you need? Here's all the money.
And he needs a producer. It's like, no, you can't do that. You can't fucking do that.
Well, they had, I'm counting in my head right now. I think they had 5 big action set pieces.
Okay, so what do you count? The first one would be the highway chase scene.
No, the first one
the
is
KKK.
the KKK.
Okay, that's the one.
Then you got the highway chase scene with the cars.
Yeah.
Then you got the Haitian like drug house chase or drug house
shootout.
Shootout.
Yeah.
Then you have the morgue.
Yes, there's a
right.
Yeah, where they're dropping the bodies, and that's another chase scene.
That's another chase scene. Then you don't they have the morgue? Is that it? No, that's not much one. But then you have the end.
Then you have the end. That's
Cuba.
5. No, that's 5 huge fucking.
And you can kind of count the end as like 2 because there's a little bit of a there's a little bit of a chase in that one too, where they're like raiding the compound.
After they blow up the house, then there's like a whole chase going.
Yeah,
it just keeps going and going. And you're like,
so
when is this gonna end?
Maybe 6 action set
That's
pieces.
a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. That's oh my god.
A lot of explosions.
And they're very long.
Yes. Like the Haitian shootout, the 360 spin shot is great, but that was like way too long also. But there were some funny lines, very violent.
Keep in mind too, these are narcotics officers.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be just fucking shooting, running and gunning and shooting people. There is a part in that Haitian scene where you see, because they were never reloading, but then there's one part where Will Smith drops his 2 cartridges, and then literally it cuts to him just shooting again. Like, you never see him reload. He's just shooting again, and Martin Lawrence does reload once. I think it only reloaded once in the whole fucking movie.
Oh, it's more than Stallone does.
Okay, let's rate the movie. Let's give it a rating.
And then I have 2 questions after we're done rating.
Okay, Anthony, rate the movie. What would you give it?
I gave the original Bad Boys on Letterboxd a 4 out of 10.
Okay, that seems
2 stars out of 5.
That seems right.
This one I'm going to go 5.5 out of 10.
Oh shit!
I think this is better.
Yeah,
I think Michael Bay's a lot more. This is going to sound funny. He's a lot more reined in terms of his editing, and it's actually like you can actually follow what's going on screen better than you can in Bad Boys.
God, it was worse than this because some of this was like hard to follow.
Rewatch Bad Boys, and you'll question why that movie ever became a thing.
Oh, why is that a cult hit? Yeah, I myself, like I said, it's self-indulgent. The storytelling is shit. The internal logic doesn't matter. It's all style and substance. It is entertaining. I was thinking 5.5 too for this. That was gonna be my rating. But it is just an assault on your fucking senses. Jesus Christ. Ruggs, what would you give it?
It's got dead girl boobs.
It's got dead girl boobs. It's got dead bodies.
It's got someone. It's got a nightclub scene where the camera's literally going up people's dresses.
Yeah.
Is that a reason to give it a good score? No.
It's got rats fucking.
I would give it a 5.
It's got rats fucking, and I'd still give it a 5.5. Yeah.
I would give it a 5.
5, yeah.
It's a movie. It's a movie.
Yeah.
2 questions coming out of this film.
Yeah.
2 of the bigger names. You already said, Ruggs, that you think is it The Island you think is the best Michael Bay film?
I think The Island is the best Michael Bay film, like that's not a Michael Bay film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't seem like it, even though there is like some of the same action going on, he's a little bit more reined in there.
It's a smarter movie, a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's one of his better ones. Transformers is like fun for the whole entire family, I guess.
The first one I think is a good film.
Yeah. You got Megan Fox's debut.
Yeah.
You got Shia LaBeouf.
The beef.
You made him into a star. So, I mean, that's successful on that count.
The Rock isn't a bad movie that I remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah, The Rock was okay.
I mean, you got your Nick Cage, you know, and Sean Connery.
There's a lot of shaky cam in that.
There's a lot of handheld. Oh, he loves his handheld fucking shots.
All right, here's the next question. This is peak. Will Smith is still in the midst of like his peak run, although it's kind of dying down at this point. But he still releases a movie and it's going to make money. Like the year after, he does iRobot. He does Hitch after that. I Am Legend. These are movies that also make a shit ton of money.
He's got a fucking Oscar nomination this year.
So that being said, best Will Smith movie.
Oh shit, that's a good question.
In what way?
In any way you want. So it could be like the best one he's done, or it's like the one where like his most popular that gave him the most juice. Like if we're going that route, Independence Day is his best.
Men in Black is fun. Is a real funny movie. I like the Men in Blacks.
He's not ever a bigger star after Independence Day. If I'm going the biggest star movie,
they're making another I Am Legend with Michael B. Jordan. I think is and he's going to come back.
What do you like, Ruggs? What's your Will Smith movie? Are you a Will Smith guy?
I'm okay. I'm indifferent to Will Smith. To be honest with you, I'm like I don't dislike him at all. I don't have any negative thoughts about him.
Because I would argue mid 90s to early 2000s, one of, if not the biggest movie star in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, especially because of Independence Day. And he gets to play Muhammad Ali.
Right.
That's a big get.
Yeah.
And he was pretty good as Ali.
I don't know. To what's Will Smith's biggest movie for me?
For you, yeah. By
I
your
would
own
say,
criteria. Aladdin.
There's iRobot. There's Hancock.
I mean, I thought that he took like a big swing with Ali.
Yeah,
he did. That was different.
I think that obviously
he's not bad in Aladdin.
Men in Black was his kind of thing.
Love the Men in Black.
It was like his big family IP, and that still survives. It's still like trying to figure out how to resurrect that whole thing. Yeah, so I think those two movies are pretty important, and I don't know what else, and definitely Independence Day, because that was when you first saw him like with muscles.
Yeah,
like Will Smith can kick some ass.
Man, has he made some clunkers along the way, even recently, the whole time? Particularly movies like Wild Wild West.
Wild West was the start of like, he's not making complete hits.
Yes,
all the time.
then you get After Earth with his son.
Earth was bad.
And then he's not done. Fucking Gemini Man that came out a few years ago. Also another clunker.
Did you see 7 Pounds?
I haven't seen 7 Pounds, no.
Or The Pursuit of Happiness?
I saw The Pursuit of Happiness. It's a dramatic role. He's playing a father down on his luck. He's very good in that. And
that's one of his best acting films.
Well, now it's King Richard. He has.
I was just gonna mention that you think he's done, and he does King Richard, and he gets nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, he's got a nomination. He could win Best Actor
in a movie nominated for Best Picture. Now we can debate all day if like how relevant the Oscars really are at this point.
Oh my God, they're making a Bad Boys 4. It's in pre-production. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, if it's with the same people who did the last one, it might be okay.
The other thing I was going to mention too is I heard this on another show. But the original Bad Boys, I mentioned how Martin Lawrence was top billing.
Yeah.
It never got any better for Martin Lawrence.
No,
that
that
was his peak.
So that's the funniest thing to look at these guys' career spikes after this.
They went complete opposite ways.
The next thing you know, Martin Lawrence is out in the middle of the street in his underwear shooting a gun in the air. And that's what happens. He pulls a Kanye West. I don't know what happened to him. I used to love that show.
He did the Big Mama movies, which I thought were funny, but there was like clearly a niche.
It didn't get huge. Remember Bright? Will Smith was in Bright for Netflix with the aliens. Wait, what has Martin Lawrence done? Hold on. No, this is the last thing Martin Lawrence.
What was his Blue Streak? That was his last big movie.
I liked Blue Streak. Do you want to read those, or you just want to?
I'm trying to figure out where is
this. He's gonna make noises.
So after Bad Boys 2, he does Rebound. He does Big Mama's House 2, Wild Hogs, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, College Road Trip, Death at a Funeral.
Well, you got to do the ones between when he was doing Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2.
But after Bad Boys, he does A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and then Nothing to Lose. And then Life. Oh, remember Life?
I liked Life.
With Eddie
Life was good.
Murphy and Martin
Life was good.
Lawrence.
But he stuck to. Here's the thing, Martin Lawrence. This is why I said that he kind of was. He's not the actor Will Smith is. Is he stuck to the comedy route? Like he never could branch out and could do anything else. Whereas like Eddie, Will Smith, like they were all comedians, but then they were able to branch out and do like serious roles.
Oh, he needs to get into a fat suit and be a big black woman for, be big to have a franchise.
That's acting.
That's acting. Remember Black Knight? That's a really bad movie too.
I mean, Big Mama's House made a lot of money. I liked Big Mama's House, but it's not like a prestige type
That's
film.
probably his biggest fucking, franchise thing that he's done. And then he was in The Beach Bum. Didn't you see that, Ruggs?
Yeah.
In 2019.
Yeah, he was with, what's his name?
McConaughey.
The Harmony Korine movie with Snoop Dogg and Matthew McConaughey, Isla Fisher. He and Zac Efron, he's in that. It's a weird. It's like a
crazy ass movie.
Yeah, it's like a weird kind of independent movie.
Yeah, I found it very interesting looking at Bad Boys, the first one, and then their career arcs after.
Yes.
It was like one guy skyrocketed, and the other guy just kind of stayed, and if anything, went down a little bit.
Big Mama. Yeah,
because they were both in they both had hit TV shows at the time.
I mean, you could say they were kind of equal in terms of their TV popularity. They both had huge shows.
Martin Lawrence got if you look at that poster, it's Martin Lawrence first.
Yeah,
over Will Smith.
that was surprising. His name. What about on Bad Boys 2? Did they change that?
No, I think Martin Lawrence still got top billing, but by that point, everyone knew.
Right.
Like the movie even caters to Will Smith.
Martin Lawrence does get top billing in Bad Boys.
Will Smith gets the hot girl. Martin Lawrence has wife trouble that they barely touch. They don't really talk about. Like you can tell by the point Bad Boys, you can tell that Martin Lawrence is the star, but Will Smith is better. You can tell that Will Smith is oh shit.
Yeah.
Will Smith is actually the guy. Bad Boys 2, they're this is a Will Smith vehicle. Will
Smith's the guy.
Martin Lawrence, just hang on and don't fuck it up.
Try to keep up. Yes.
Right.
What about Bad Boys for Life?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that either. I kind of want to watch that one now.
Especially since apparently it's good.
Yeah,
right?
but it's a different director.
Where is it? Can we watch? Where is it?
It's still new, and also those directors are doing.
It's on HBO.
Peacock.
Oh, it's on Peacock.
It's on Peacock.
Those directors are working on the Miss Marvel show, I believe.
They are doing the Miss Marvel show, and they're directing Batgirl.
Oh, and they're directing the Batgirl movie. Yeah,
and they're attached to direct this Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Oh shit, with Eddie Murphy. I did hear about
Eddie
this.
Murphy. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Can that work?
One of the OG buddy cop films.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one more question.
Yeah.
Top buddy cop film.
Oh man.
And here I'll give you the candidates: Bad Boys, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour. And you can or the last the one with Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis.
Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy
Scout. There's also, you could put in The Nice Guys, which is more of a recent one.
With Bulletproof.
Yeah. I mean, Beverly Hills
what's the
Cop
one with,
is up there.
What's the one with here? Billy Crystal, and it was in the 80s, Running Man, I think.
Oh, and Gregory Hines, Running Scared.
Running Scared.
Yeah.
But do you guys have a best buddy cop film?
I mean, you got to put the Lethal Weapons up there, and Beverly Hills Cop is fantastic. But Lethal Weapons got to be
number one.
I think that's got to be number one.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon's pretty fucking good. Do you have one, Ruggs?
I was going to say Lethal Weapon, but I think there's a lot of them. I like The Last Boy Scout a lot.
Yeah, that's.
I haven't seen that.
That's a great movie.
People, movie buffs say that's a good one.
Rush Hour is also good.
Well, it's Tony Scott.
Yeah.
So, and Halle Berry.
Yeah. Have they done? Can you think of a recent buddy cop film? I can't think of a good recent buddy cop film.
Not good ones.
Right?
There hasn't been any good ones.
Marvel apes it, but I wouldn't consider those buddy cop.
I mean, the
films.
Rush Hour movies were buddy cop films,
right? 100%. But those are now. The first one came out in '99. That's over 20 years ago.
Yeah, those are already Jesus.
It's a long time ago.
They tried to do it with the Shaft remakes in the 2019s. That didn't really hit.
You got Ride Along.
There was Ride Along.
21 Jump Street.
Ride Along,
you know what? The 21 Jump Street movies are fantastic.
They're aping that.
Yes,
yeah.
There's comedy and good action, and they're really funny. I love both of those movies. Then there's this one from 2014, Let's Be Cops, which is with Jake Johnson, and I forget who else is in it. But there's a Ride Along too. Jesus. But yeah, there haven't been any really good ones. It's
Hot Fuzz.
Oh, Hot Fuzz is a good buddy cop movie.
But it's not like a.
That's different.
It's not like a. There's not like a franchise that
they tried to do Starsky and Hutch with Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller.
I went down a rabbit hole. Just we're taking this aside real quick. I went down a rabbit hole of like 70s, 80s movies, and I was listening to Bill Simmons. He's like, these are the 4 movies that inspired like 30 years of filmmaking. And he goes, Halloween, so it's the slasher film. 48 Hours, 48 Hours, which is the buddy cop films. Fatal Attraction, which is like the ... crazy person film, like someone psycho is in your life. And then he said Die Hard inspired, but like every movie after that was like Die Hard on a bus, Die Hard on this. And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting that those 4 movies inspired Hollywood decided to make those versions of movies
over
for the
and
next
over again.
20 to 30 years.
What about Point Break? That's a good movie. This cops.
That's Fast and Furious.
It is all the
We're
same.
seeing
It's
that.
the same shit over and over again with different people.
Cliffhanger is Die Hard on a cliff.
On a mountain. Yeah.
Wasn't there like a movie with Woody Harrelson, a cop film?
Oh,
Money Train.
Money Train. Wesley Snipes. Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
That's another buddy
I remember
cop,
that
but
being kind of good. Also,
was that good?
Yeah,
I thought I enjoyed that. I can't remember.
What was it? Rosie Perez was in that one.
Oh,
she was in that one too.
Yeah,
she's her and Woody Harrelson are just
no. Was it Rosie Perez? I don't know. I have to look it up, but I think it was somebody.
It is a solid Wesley Snipes movie.
Oh, it was J-Lo. It was J-Lo.
Right.
Sorry.
Okay, J-Lo was in that.
It's J-Lo.
So yeah.
Yeah. Just some things I was thinking about as I was watching this film. I was like, what's the best buddy cop film? What's the best Bay film?
Yeah.
What's the best Will Smith film? Because watching this movie, I'm like, there's not a ton to glean from this movie.
It's just
like, this is what it is.
I
just
mean,
explosions.
how long has it been since you watched Lethal Weapon?
It's been a long
been a
time.
while.
Yeah, I could.
I
gotta
wanna
watch it
rewatch
again.
I could rewatch those.
I think we should rewatch that one.
We should do the whole franchise.
So I liked Lethal Weapon, but I was like doing some research, and like people think Lethal Weapon 2 is better than Lethal Weapon.
Whoa.
That was like the gist I was hearing, is that Lethal Weapon 2 is actually the better one. Just more entertaining.
Just like Bad Boys 2 is better than the first one.
Not on the same. Although Bad Boys is again considered one of the, like,
I haven't watched
peak
48
90s
Hours
films.
in a long time
That
either.
movie's hilarious.
I loved that movie.
No.
I rewatched that movie when I was on my spree.
Yeah.
And I was like, this movie holds up completely.
Yeah, that's still pretty good. I watched that recently.
Other than Nick Nolte just being like fucking racist as shit.
Yes, treating him like a fucking thing, like garbage. But that
Does
the
not
scene
look
in
at him as human.
the scene in the bar where he's arresting everyone is fantastic.
Yeah, 48 Hours is a good rewatch.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon is a good.
And Beverly Hills
good
Cop
movie.
it still holds up, man. That movie.
What about Alien Nation?
Oh, I like
don't
the
know what-
Alien Nation where it was a TV show. It was a movie that became a TV show.
But it was like a cop and
an
an
alien cop. Yeah, it's bright. Again, they already did these movies.
Well,
Oh yeah, they did this.
I'll
before.
open this up to our audience, and I'll say, like, what would you guys think if we started revisiting the classic 80s movies? Do you guys want to hear that kind of stuff, like on off weeks? Because I think that'd be something that we could do.
Yeah, let us know. That's a good segue. Yeah.
I always I'm very always happy that I'm like, oh, I have to put this movie on, and I'm usually happy that I watched it afterwards. So
It's also fun to revisit them with like years passing and a new perspective. And it's like, does this still hold up? And you're pleasantly surprised. You're like, it does. There's something going on.
Yeah,
here.
let us know.
There's something of value.
Listener,
Yeah.
I did ask our
Like this one, Bad Boys 2, I can clearly say does not hold up. It wasn't made that long ago.
Roberto Rivera, I hope you enjoyed this review that you sponsored. Thanks for picking this
Very
movie.
curious why you picked it. Tell us why.
I did ask all our patrons for more movies, so we got an influx of new fun movies, so we'll be doing more Patreon movie picks. Sign up, jockandnerd.com/Patreon to get your pick done. And if any of the movies we talked about you want us to do, just sign up or let us know, and we will do them. And if you sign up for Patreon, we have to do that. We have no choice. Speaking of our listeners, let's do some quick news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Blake Braden's comment here, he says, so, Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, The Boys, etc., I am enjoying this age of weirdness. But do you think we will reach a point where this type of show goes over the edge or we get tired of weirdness for the sake of weird? For me right now, I'm loving all the weirdness.
I think it's good in doses. I don't think you can... I don't want to watch this all the time, but it's a nice change of pace.
But he does have a point where these things like Peacemaker, The Boys get popular, and then they make more like these, and then eventually, are they all going to be like these? When something gets popular, this is the problem.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have an issue where people just like copy, like, oh, that's popular, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the whole market's flooded with the shit. But I think if you do it right and you do it well, it's always a welcome thing on the menu, like, it's, as Anthony said, you're not going to have it every day, but, every once in a while it's good to play with that shit.
Hollywood is a copycat league.
Yeah, you just said they're making the same 4 movies over and over again.
You see something successful in Hollywood will inevitably run that shit into the ground.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, has it happened with the superhero movies? Not yet.
All this talk of Peacemaker, guaranteed you're just going to be copycat shows coming out.
But it's also
Peacemaker. Yeah. Also, keep in mind too, Peacemaker is not exactly like original. They're copying what he mentions. They're looking at James Gunn. I mean, it is James Gunn style, but he's looking at The Boys and he's looking at Invincible and Umbrella Academy, and he's seeing the edgier comedy, edgier comic book source material being put on screen. He's like, why can't I do it with Peacemaker? And that's what you're getting.
And there is a lot of still edgy, independent comic book IP that you can mine. Weird stuff we haven't seen and other stuff.
I'm waiting for the sexy era to come to comics.
When's the sexy comics where they do?
Yeah. Just like when you have a little fun, like, I don't know. I feel like that era is going to start occurring because this is more, we're getting into like, we're almost dangling into fetishism at this point, with these shows as they come out. You got like, especially when you look at Homelander with this fucking orgasmic cow milking,
this milk
and
fetish.
shit, like weird shit is like fucking crazy. So I don't know. It's going to be weird. I mean, you have like the fucking Aquaman guy fucking somebody and looking at an octopus in the trailer. It's weird shit.
How he gets hard. How he stays hard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look at that octopus hole. Well, look, this kind of leads into the next comment from Jamie Robinson, Mr. Throwback Thursday, who posted a link for a new HBO Max show from Warner Brothers based on a Vertigo DC comic called DMZ. And he says, I am unfamiliar with the source material. Safe to say it is after my time, but I haven't seen Rosario fail. He's talking about Rosario Dawson, who's in this. Plus, it has to be better than Doom Patrol, right? Doom Patrol is one of those weird ass shows, but it's really weird out there, like way weirder.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where because it's a comic book, people expect it to be like some crazy shit, but sometimes comics are just about like mundane shit. Like, and this is like a fairly straight like dystopian.
Did you guys get a chance to watch the trailer for DMZ?
I did not know.
But I know of the comic book.
What's the comic book about, Ruggs?
It's New York is a demilitarized zone, and it's in there's a civil war and shit.
Second Civil War.
Yeah.
Originally, it's from Brian Wood with art by Wood and Riccardo Burchielli. This thing came out in from 2005 to 2012, 72 issues. But yeah, basically, Second Civil War. Manhattan is
it's a very Walking Dead-ish without the zombies.
It's another like post-apocalyptic kind of tale that we've seen. And I love Rosario Dawson. Did you get a chance to watch it, Anthony?
No, I'm actually watching it right now.
Okay.
I mean, it looks well done. I mean, you have HBO behind it. Is that the villain? Is that the guy from...
That's
what's his fucking name?
That is Benjamin Bratt. From Law and Order fame and other things.
Huh.
But I kind of like this. It's kind of a neat. It looks neat. I like the take. Rosario is great in everything, mostly. And it's interesting to see what happens if Manhattan was blocked off.
It's one of those shows where I'm watching it, the trailer, and I'm like, this looks decent, looks good.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go out of my way to watch this until... It's one of those where it's like, I'm not going to go out of my way until I know there's enough hype behind it that it's like, okay, if you're missing out on this, you're just not in the conversation anymore.
No, that is a valid point because it makes me think of why The Last Man that was on Hulu that got canceled before the season ended, and that was a good show. It looks a lot like this. It reminds me of this.
Yeah.
Social media will tell you whether you think this is good or bad or not. Will tell you right away if this is worth watching.
Right.
If you need to be involved in the conversation.
If it's buzzworthy. What shows are out there that you are hearing about? Can you think of any right now?
See, I've been out of the loop on TV.
Okay.
You guys will probably know better than me.
I'll tell you some shows and what are we watching.
All right.
Well, let's just go into what are we watching. And you'll be surprised, Anthony. It's about sports.
Oh no! Is there Pakistanis in it? Is that why you're watching it?
It's not the cricket story. No, it's not Imran Khan's cricket story. It is an HBO original series called Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty.
Oh yeah. I've seen a lot of
holy
promos
shit.
for that.
2 episodes are out, and I watched them, and it's so good. And I'm learning about a time where it's hard to believe that the NBA was not the revenue-generating juggernaut it is today.
No,
holy shit. So you have John C. Reilly playing Jerry Buss, and you have Jason Clarke playing Jerry West. And I love Jerry West because he's breaking fucking golf clubs. He's constantly yelling and depressed and bipolar.
Let me. You mentioned something real quick. The NBA is the juggernaut now. It's a global juggernaut.
Yeah.
Back in the early 80s, they were showing the NBA Finals on tape delay.
Wow,
you couldn't even watch it live.
There's a line in the second episode where this one guy goes, "There's no reason the NBA can't be as big as golf or tennis." I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
but
it's because of Magic going to the Lakers and Larry Bird going to the Celtics that the NBA became what it is.
So that's where this show picks up in '79. Jerry Buss buys the Lakers, and everyone's like, "What is wrong with you? You're crazy!" And he is insistent on drafting Magic Johnson. And building this team with Kareem, and he wants a dynasty, and he goes and talks to the owner of the Boston Celtics, and it's fucking great because Jerry Buss is just hanging out with girls in the Playboy Mansion. They're doing drugs. He uses girls to get his deals done. And
they
shit.
built a club. They were playing in the Forum, and they built a club in the Forum, and they started bringing out celebrities. Like they literally turned around the NBA and made it like the hot thing.
This is where the NBA we know today starts, right here in
celebs,
79.
And like these guys living a lot. Like in the 70s, the games weren't even on TV, and like probably a lot of people in the 70s, all those players were just doing a shit ton of coke.
Yeah.
So the game wasn't very good.
It's fascinating how Jerry West is like the logo guy, and the fact that they played the Celtics like 4 years in the finals and lost every time, right? And I think he wins.
They played them. Yeah, they played them a lot and lost.
And just constantly, but it's good. It's good because it is created by Adam McKay, one of the McKays.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So it's filmed the way it's filmed. The characters are breaking the fourth wall. They're talking to you directly. It's got 70s grain. It looks like it's in the 70s, very authentic, like 70s film stock, and it's got this energy and this. But like your Adam McKay energy and funness about it that is fucking awesome. So I love the first 2 episodes so far. I think it's great.
Pilot episode was directed by Adam McKay.
Oh, it was directed by Adam McKay. Okay, I wonder if he's doing the second episode.
Yeah.
Great, and it's just a fun way to tell the story.
10 episodes.
Yeah. And I know I could, like, the second episode ended in a cliffhanger, and I know I could look up what happens, but I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen now?
Did you, just curious, you didn't write this down, but did you finish the Tom and Pamela thing?
Yes, Pam and Tommy, I watched all of it. It is all on Hulu. Very good show. Sebastian Stan does a great job as Tommy Lee, who's an idiot, but Lily Collins, whoever plays Pam, she's really good. And you feel so bad for Pam Anderson. Because the contractor who stole the tapes was trying to fuck over Tommy, right?
Yep.
She got sucked in, and the whole thing became about her. And she did nothing to deserve this, and they make her a very sympathetic character.
Yeah. I watched a doc on that, and yeah, they're actually they got really screwed on that.
I felt so bad for him, and the guy even felt bad and wanted to apologize. He realized what he did, and he's trying to make amends. But then he gets involved with some gangsters and internet streaming, and it's just like the beginning of the internet, and it gets everywhere. It was like the first sex tape that ever came out.
It was the first one where like people were like, "Oh, you could catch celebs." Like it was the voyeuristic thing.
Well, Rob Lowe had something.
But then celebrities purposely leaked their fucking tapes.
Yep.
This was not on purpose.
Paris Hilton,
this wasn't.
Kardashian got big because of hers.
So Pam and Tommy's very good. 8 episode. Okay. I love that. That they did a really good job with that. And then I also did check out that Boys Diabolical, the 8 animated anthology. 8 episodes, short episodes. We were talking about how some of them might be good, some of them might be bad. These are all great. This is some of the fucking darkest, most violent shit I've seen in animation. And, like, they do violence even when it's, like, cartoony animation. Like, there's one done by the Rick and Morty guys, and they're all drawn like Rick and Morty people. It's super fucking violent. Even the cartoon, there's one where this girl takes Compound V, and her power is she can control turds. Shit turds. She has a little shit buddy that talks to her. And it's done in this like fun Japanese anime style. I thought it was really good. Real quick watch.
Now you ruined it for me.
Real quick watch. Well, good. Go fucking watch it. Watch the turd episode. That was good.
Yeah, so it's good. That's good news.
It was good, and I wonder if they will use some of the things in the show. But yeah, Billy Butcher's in some of the episodes. Homelander's in there. It is violent and dark for a short cartoon. The best bit is there's a quick opening. No, the quick opening board says the Diabolicals, and you see Billy Butcher's dog there. And every time the dog is doing something different. Like one time he's licking his nuts. The next time he's like humping a toy. The next time he's just like eating a leg. So it was really funny. Like every time watching what the dog would do, and it kind of ties into the episode. But it was pretty good. It got me.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it got me hyped to watch The Boys season 3. Ruggs, what have you been watching?
Oh my God, I've been watching way too many fucking Ryan Reynolds movies.
All of the Ryan Reynolds movies.
Like, I don't even like Ryan Reynolds that much. So, like, he gets on my nerves a lot. But I watched Free Guy like about a week and a half ago or something, but I didn't bring it up last week because we talked about Batman. And, I don't even remember what the fuck the movie was about. I just remember it was like...
What's it good?
I mean, it's about a guy. He's an NPC, and he
in a video game.
There's some code. There's some code in there that allows him to be free thinking.
Right.
So he ends up realizing that he's in a game, and that's funny for a little bit.
I love the concept.
And then, basically, there's a person who is from the actual world that's interacting with him, and he's kind of like, falling in love with her or infatuated with her. And it's a cute movie about, I guess, believing in yourself or something. I don't know what the fuck that movie is about. But I remember I enjoyed it in the moment, but then I completely forgot about it.
Wow.
So if a movie's that forgettable, that's not really a good sign.
That is surprising.
Someone was asking me, like, remember when he got big at the end and he was fighting his big dumb self? And I'm like, no. Do I remember that?
Happened?
I'm like, and I was awake. I remember I watched it during the day. So it's not because I was sleeping. So I just didn't remember the film. So I can't really say like how great it was or if it was good because I don't remember. It's a forgettable film.
Okay. Sounds like eating like Domino's pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ate it, but did I eat it?
Thought it tasted okay at the time.
Then I watched a movie that was so bad that I remember it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is Last Man Down on Netflix. I think David Zeke or somebody brought it up on our feed.
Dude, who is Daniel Steezen?
I guess it's a wrestler. These got to be wrestlers or something.
Is he trying to be the next Frank Grillo?
No, he's not.
Well, what is this? There's like no names I recognize on here.
No.
Okay, all it is, I'm going to tell you the whole plot of the story. I'm going to ruin it for you.
Fine.
All right. In the future, there is a virus, and everyone's dying from this virus. But
that's now.
But there's a cure to the virus. It's this girl, and she runs away and hides and finds this cabin in the forest where this guy is, who happens to be the fucking arch enemy of the guy who wants the girl.
Of course he does.
Who's hiding out.
Okay.
So he protects her, and it's basically him versus like waves and waves of people coming to this cabin to attack him, and him setting up traps and, whatever. So, killing them all, but huge body count. This movie's terrible. And I watched every second of it. There is the thing that I remember the most.
Wait, can I interject real quick? You said this movie was guaranteed. You said Bad Boys 2 is guaranteed better than this movie.
You did say that.
right after you watched this movie? Continue.
Yeah, it was Bad Boys is better than this movie.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's better. I watched every second of it, but the thing that I remember the most was, number one, the most terrible dialogue that you've ever heard. It is just every line is cringeworthy. But there's the score to this thing. It's like, it's way overdone. Like whoever they hired to do the score for this movie and write the music got way too into it. He thought he was like making a music for a completely different movie. He was like, "Oh, I'm making the most fucking epic." Because like what's going on here? They're on a mountain and he's shooting guys with guns. There's no the movie music is so epic. I feel like it's like fucking aliens are landing and shit.
Rambo.
Like, yeah.
So basically, what you mean is the kid on the bench that never gets to play, but he gets his one shot at playing in like a real game, and
he went hard. Whoever fucking did the music for this movie,
every time.
Yeah, he's not passing.
Just tried. Either that, or they just like mismatched the score to this movie, so it was like everything is just so epic. It feels like X-Men 4 or something, like we're like fucking Age of Apocalypse, or just some great big grandiose thing is happening, and it's just like a guy shooting other guys that are like.
Speaking of music, forgot to mention, Bad Boys 2 has music from Dr. Dre and P. Diddy, which is perfect at the time.
There's a Nelly too.
Yeah, and Nelly.
I have one question.
Shake Your Tail Feather.
Shake Your Tail Feather. It immediately dates the movie. One question for you. I'd never even heard of this movie. What compelled you to watch it?
David Zika said he watched it, and it was like a throwback to the 80s. And so like, I'll watch it. And it was like Saban Films, Saban is the guy who used to own the Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
I was like, Saban, that's Power Rangers.
Yeah. And I think that he's a partial owner of the WWE or some wrestling organization.
Stinson.
So I think that there's definitely wrestling people. Like, there's definitely like 4 Gina Caranos in this movie that are not Gina Carano, but pretty much look like Gina Carano with blonde hair or whatever. And they just, they're just terrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bad movie. I want to know about the other Sean Levy movie, The Adam Project.
That just came out on Netflix. I watched it today.
This movie has a crazy cast. Brian Reynolds, Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner, Zoe Saldana, Catherine Keener, and this kid, Walker Scobell, is getting a lot of praise as the young Ryan Reynolds.
He does like a dead-on Brian Reynolds.
Okay.
But isn't this is my question, isn't this a movie about Ryan Reynolds going back in time to team up with his younger self? And can you not do that? What about the paradox?
I guess it's not a big deal.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Is it good?
No, it doesn't matter. Is it good? I enjoyed parts of it. Some parts of it worked and parts of it didn't. Like, I feel like the bad guy and the whole plot of the movie is kind of stupid. But I think that the interactions that he has with himself and some of the character stuff is actually not too bad.
Is it better than Free Guy?
It's more memorable, I think.
I'm curious.
Because I think I'm going to reveal this, that there's one point in this movie where I actually almost like had a feeling.
Oh, it almost touched you in the feels.
Yeah, I almost felt something.
You don't ever have feelings.
So, yeah.
What is Sean Levy's directing style like then?
It's very generic, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, the Adam Project's getting decent reviews. It's like 70%.
Yeah. I want to watch this.
Anybody, I'll put it this way. You just take, when I say generic, I'm like Captain Marvel generic.
Okay.
Like, it's not bad. Like, Captain Marvel, we watched it, it happened, whatever. And we were like, all right, but we weren't like, oh my God, this director is great. Like, it just didn't service the film.
It would have had to do.
It didn't go, you didn't go, wow, that's clearly a Michael Bay film.
No.
It's absolutely a Michael Bay film.
It was a completely
no stamp.
Anybody could have directed that film.
I got to check out Free Guy and The Adam Project. I'm going to watch both of them. I just haven't had time.
I haven't been watching movies, but I have been on this path of listening to a lot of podcasts. And Bill Simmons' The Rewatchables is fantastic.
Yeah. I've listened to some of those now.
Yeah, it makes me want to rewatch those movies and talk about them with you guys on the show.
I listened to the one on the movie Juice because I love that movie.
I
Juice.
haven't seen that
was a good one. Oh, it's
the latest. The ones I've listened to so far are like Commando, Lethal Weapon. The Terminator films, the Die Hard. I'm on Superbad.
Okay.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna check those out. Yeah, they're good. They're good. I have listened.
Good, and it, like I said, make sure we want to watch those movies, and then since we have our own show, I'm like, we should do some.
Yeah,
watch. Some
We're gonna do some. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, we got plenty.
Every week we got to do some. All right, that's it for this week, though. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Really a Rug Boy. Come follow me.
His link will be in the show notes. Visit the show notes for this episode for links to everything we talked about, how to support. Stay subscribed. Tell a friend, listener. That's the most important thing. Share the show with your bras. Bro, have you heard this? Just tell somebody that. And then give them one of these.
Jock and Nerd.
Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I think I have a real fart coming.
It's fucking awesome.
Hold on, see if I can get it.
It's really good. Is that real?
Oh my God.
That was a real fart.
Oh my
Jock and Nerd.